the meds in your fucking bod.
Here it comes.
Yeah, we don't want the kids to see me popping pills.
Well, you know, there's a crisis and shit.
Yes, and shit.
There is a crisis.
Hey, kids, watch out for that crisis, okay?
You gotta have a fast rig for that crisis.
Stay safe.
There it is.
There it is. You can retweet it
Whoop.
now.
There it is. Or just straight up, there it is.
Live stream offline.
What?
No.
What? No.
It is offline.
It's offline. Why are we offline?
You should put
Because
the
it
live
takes a
stream
few minutes to buffer.
You take a few
Jeez.
minutes to buffer.
You know how I usually just from like, hey, we're online, or we've been online, but
on. It's usually quicker than this.
is it?
Yeah.
Let me check things and stuff.
Man, we're offline.
Make live stream go.
I want to be online.
Is everyone streaming the World Series?
I mean, everything looks good. Like, we're not dropping bits, and everything's green.
No.
Everything looks 5x5 across the board.
No. I want to live stream. Why are we live streaming?
Why no live stream?
We should be online.
I mean, come on, even.
God damn it.
It's probably like, it's too early, motherfuckers. We know. We're Google.
Yeah,
we know.
It's waiting till 9.
We know what's up with you. It's too early.
Man.
All right. Well, I guess be prepared to delete this shit or something, because I'm gonna quit this and
Hide the chat.
I'm gonna stop streaming and try to fix this shit. Who's can?
Okay.
And
Scene. Oh.
uh-oh, looks like we might have a stream. Yep. Internets. They're fun.
Yeah.
Are we online?
I think we're on the line.
Did you give me a false notification?
Maybe.
She just needed a reboot.
I just had to restart this software.
They just kick the tubes.
Yep. Let's see. What else do I need? Oh, yeah. The thing with the movie and stuff.
Yeah, that guy with the thing. At the place.
Retweet.
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 Retweet. Retweet. Retweet. Hey, there's that sweet tweet. Sweet retweet. What are you doing in there?
Yeah.
You're making a lot of noise. Chuck.
Why are you trying to fuck that shit up, yo?
Screw baseball. We know who our true fans are right here. I hope. I hope they're watching this. And if not, well, sorry. We'll say this is probably the only baseball game worth watching all year.
What is it?
Because it's the only one that counts.
What happens?
Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh.
After that, it's over, man.
Oh.
Baseball's canceled.
Or long national nightmare.
Yep. Baseball's over as soon as this game is.
So is it like... Oh, you said Game 7. I was about to ask,
Yeah.
like, what the... But that would mean that it's evenly tied at 6-6. Or 3-3.
Yes.
6 games. I don't know baseball. Or counting.
Yes. I know, it's early, people.
It is a little early. Well, who are you talking to anyway?
Literally nobody.
Oh, okay.
people that are watching
well, also,
this
we
in
just
the
kind
future.
of fuck with some people by sending out a thing and then not being there.
Yeah, we lied to them.
Mm-hmm.
We're liars.
We've lost their trust at this
We
point.
made them regret all choices they'd made with us thus far.
Oh my god.
You son of a bitch.
Dinosaur.
Hey. Hey. Happy Easter, Ian. Or Evan. Or whoever you are.
Even.
Evan.
Even.
Evan.
Happy Easter, Even.
Evan.
Holiday. Exit stage right.
Did the Tooth Fairy bring you anything for Easter?
We're going Harry Carey, and I'm
Yeah.
going more Snaggletooth. Or Snagglepuss.
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 Yeah.
Snagglepuss, even. Hates those pieces to pieces.
Can't shout your own name, Evan.
Even. Even McKinsey.
Evan.
Even Flo.
Even Stevens. Evan's like, I quit.
Yeah,
I
really,
quit
seriously.
you guys forever.
I mean,
Fuck you.
Fuck, you almost made it to 400 without alienating everybody.
Yep.
But nope.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've only got one episode left to
Yeah.
be normal, and then
Before it all crashes.
yeah,
and
the
burns.
next one's just the big grand finale. We're all like, man, I remember that time. That was great.
It's going to be fun flipping this table that's attached to the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see your wall get ripped out.
Yeah, let's fucking do this.
Yeah, I just want to bash my way right into the garage.
Fucking do this.
Yes.
Sledgehammer
Yes.
this motherfucker.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. See.
One word.
Oui.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plastics.
Da. Yeah. Ta. Hi.
Can't quote that movie anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
ta.
God damn it.
What? I didn't even hear what he said.
I used a line from The Graduate, which apparently stars Dustin Hoffman, who apparently harassed somebody too, because fuck.
Yep.
I'll get there.
I bet Wolf Larson never harassed anybody.
His name is half a crime.
Wolf?
No, Larson. E. It's most of a crime.
Committed grand larceny.
I know, not spelled the same.
The larcenist had oddly shaped feet.
Le arsonist. Le arson. It's French for the guy who sets shit on fire. That's why he wrote Crash and Burns. See?
See.
This is how fucking conspiracy theories work, man.
Right.
No, Evan left.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
See?
We had one guy, and he's gone.
Come on! Come on, Ethan!
Yeah, on enchiladas.
time to go get enchiladas.
Enchiladas! Thanks a lotta!
Enchilada, thanks a lot.
Fuck you. There was a point where I, like every week I was like, "This is our worst episode ever."
Yeah, pretty much.
This is our worst episode ever.
We haven't even started.
I know.
We're killing time.
Yeah.
That's Jen over there. Who's that lady? Who's that
Some
lady?
lady on our Twitter feed.
Oh,
Whoa.
you got,
Who's
is there,
that
is there
lady?
nudity?
What do you mean our Twitter feed? Like the BMFcast Twitter feed?
Yeah.
Why are you reading that? That's crazy.
Because I had to send a
Don't
tweet.
do that.
I had to.
And then you had to check it.
I forgot it's a garbage file.
Crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
I need to go clean it up.
Yeah. I'm also very sad that Mike Bendez responded how he responded on Twitter today.
Rather, there will not be a sequel to Don't Kill It. Don't Kill It.
Not looking good, I believe it was pretty close to the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We'll help. I got it. It's stuff here. Most of the movie is in there. Just waiting to come out. I don't know. I don't know, man. Well, how long do we want to kill? Because, I mean, do we just want to wait till 9?
We have to wait till BJ gets here.
BJ's not going to be here.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What? Why, Internet? Why are you being shitty?
That's why I knew that dude.
Why? Who? What?
He was on 24. He was the guy that Jack was going to throw in the building that was filled with disease. Or no, he was going to put his daughter in there.
Which one? Johnny Rees or Wolf Larson?
Johnny Rees,
Okay.
the British one.
Yeah. I don't really remember that.
They released like the chemical agent in the hotel, and everyone started dying, and what's her face was in the hotel, and so they had trapped everybody in the hotel and wouldn't let them leave. And Jack was going to suit up and take the bad guy's daughter and throw her in the hotel so she would die if he didn't stop being a dick.
Man.
Yeah.
So what, season 3?
Yeah, I want to say season 3. I want to say the heroin season.
Yeah. Man.
Oh.
What year was that? 2003,
Who was the lady that
2004?
saved the day in that one?
Huh?
Who was the lady that saved the day in that one? You said it was the heroin season. I know what you're...
He's talking about horse.
No, yeah, I
He's
know.
talking about black tar.
I got that. Part of that crisis we were warning the kids about.
Oh no, he's in that season, but he's a different guy.
Oh. So his daughter did not get thrown into a
That guy's daughter,
disease
no.
den.
No.
He was just a British dick.
Yeah.
Wait, that guy? That's who you're talking about was on 24?
Yeah, the British guy.
Byrnes?
Yes. Smithers.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, if we're killing time,
Yes, we are.
like ZergNet, this thing that's always showing ads on the side of like IMDb and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like a thing that's like, oh, you know, whatever it's like, oh, check out this listicle of whatever. And like you'll click it and then it'll give you like a landing page of like
Oh, right.
20 of those things.
Yes.
Like how the fuck does that even make money? Because there's no ads on it, as far as I can tell. It's just like, all right, here's a bunch of articles for the site that you were about to go to anyway.
I think those articles have like the text within them are links to products.
Okay.
I think
Probably all loops back to Amazon because they own IMDb now.
there's probably there's
fucking
probably like
conspiracy,
6 different affiliate codes.
Yeah,
in
because
those
it's like
links.
always that bullshit looper.com, all
Yeah.
those fucking like listicles of 7 horror movies you've never heard of. And it's like, no, I've heard of all these. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's
did
always-
you know there were 13 Friday the 13th? You know, I know there's not 13, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's always like, why Hollywood
There's
won't hire
11.
Michael Rappaport anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, and there's just a picture of him like,
There's 11
Drunk
unless you
somewhere.
count Jason, Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, damn, Wilford Brimley, what's wrong with you over there?
Need some oatmeal? Maybe a cocoon? You alright?
yeah,
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, cool. So are you getting a phone tomorrow? Or Friday?
No.
When did it say?
Mine does. I'm
Aw.
not eligible till like January.
Aw.
Aw. So are you,
I thought you said you ordered one.
I did not.
what I look forward
I
to,
could have swore I asked you if you ordered a phone.
You did not.
what I look forward to with the iPhone X
Mm-hmm.
is college kids having their friends unlock their phone with their face while they're stone cold drunk, and then posting stupid pictures of them.
Oh, I guarantee you, in the first 5 minutes, there will be someone who has photoshopied their face, put it over someone else's head, and it unlocks their phone. I guarantee you, these things always happen.
I could have swore just the other day I was asking you if you're getting the new phone, and you said yes. I just don't have a tracking number yet.
Words were never spoken by me.
Not words. We were chatting on the thing.
Nope.
Okay.
Chuck is calling you a liar.
You're a liar.
You're a liar.
Okay.
Why did you lie?
I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want people to know he's getting a face phone.
I can't get a face phone.
I also look forward to all the fun legal hassles that will ensue from people having their phones taken and then the cops unlocking them.
Is this
by
your
pointing-
phone? All right.
Yeah, by pointing it at your face.
Yep.
Totally had this conversation. What kind of drugs are you on right now?
When was this conversation?
I have to scroll up. The 30th, so that was Monday.
What did I say on Monday?
Oh, I see where you totally misunderstood me. Jesus. everyone was talking about the
Jeez.
fucking iPhone that day, and I said, "Are you getting an X?" And you thought I meant Xbox X.
Oh yeah, that's totally what I thought you meant.
No,
Xbox One X.
no.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck about that thing?
Oh. I thought you had regretted your cancellation, and you were like, "Can I live vicariously through
No, I don't
through
give a
your
shit about
ex?"
that thing. No. That X ain't gonna give nothing to you.
I thought that's what you meant too. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's the only X that's important to me.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. You guys have seen Excessive Force. I have not.
Yeah, you should see. Well, should you? I don't remember. It's excessive force.
This guy also made Alligator 2, The Mutation.
Yeah, he did. That's a movie.
And Space Killers.
Space Killers.
They went to space and they killed it. Space Killers.
Killers of Space.
They're actually just hoarders. There was space and they just hoarded
I get
everything
it, yeah.
and they killed all.
We had all this space, but you killed it.
Space Killers.
He filled it with extreme couponing.
No.
I honestly have no memory of excessive force.
Me neither, because I
Well-
didn't see it.
Were you not there?
He was
No, it just wasn't. Not a memorable movie. Hey, look at this tiki glass.
Hey.
Remember when we ordered those? Like in fucking January?
vaguely.
Yeah. They said, hey, we might be shipping them in November.
I thought my blue one was supposed to arrive.
Oh, I guess they're holding them all until they have the black ones that we ordered.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Hey, it's 9 o'clock. Hey, welcome back. So I guess we can start. Right?
Okay, sure,
Should
yeah,
we?
Wait, we didn't do excessive force during Force Month?
No.
Oh, that would be excessive. It'd be too much force, Chuck.
I get it.
See, we should have done the week after Force Month. Done
one bonus week.
excessive force.
No, it's too many forces. all these jokes are lost to time. Like,
Yes,
like
like
Tears in the Rain. No, seriously, like all this like theme month bullshit. I was looking back through our feed. I was like, oh yeah, there was that one time where that one April where every single week was a different theme month. I was looking.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck do these have in common? And I was like, oh yeah, we were.
It was
yeah.
1990 year.
Yeah.
No, that like it was really dumb. That one April where it was like, this is hashtag April, and then it was.
No, that was in 1990 year because we were trying to keep them 1990
Oh, was it?
movies.
Is that what
But
it
then
is?
we
Okay.
did like each week we declared a different
Jesus.
theme month.
Yeah.
And then it still took till July before anybody figured out.
We're so
I think BJ's
fucking
really
stupid.
bitter about that one.
He seems to be. He mentions it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really well. It's because he's the only one we didn't tell. All the rest of us knew, and we wanted to see how long it would take him to pick up on it.
Yeah.
And then it was fun to see how long it would take everyone else to pick up on it. And then they're like, they're just watching more trash again.
Yep.
I'm like, well, shit.
What the fuck is going on the stream?
What's wrong
Give
with
me a second.
Dropping frames.
Yeah.
We did not like excessive force.
We did?
Straight bags.
That's weird.
Oh, no. You bagged it.
Harlow liked it the best.
Did I?
He gave it one bag.
Ooh.
BJ and I gave it 2 bags. 2 bags. I think that was one of those movies where there was a lot of action-y things happening, but who gave a fuck? It was one of those things of just like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I know.
So did you hear that Tyrese is beefing with The Rock again?
He's beefing hard,
and
man.
he's basically said, it's him or me. That's like,
Guess who ain't going to be in the movie, Tyrese?
I love it. That's like me going to them and going, hey, it's me or The Rock.
Look,
Fast and Furious 9.
You would have me, or you could have Tom Cruise. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Choose
Oh,
now.
I'm out?
Oh.
Fuck.
That's like when they cut to the security guys literally throwing me out a window.
Yeah, going like fucking Jazzy Jeff out the front door. Ah!
Yep.
Then like
Tyrese.
he went on to say like, I ain't got no money and this is my only job.
Really?
Yeah, because like apparently he's being sued by everybody and he never paid taxes or whatever. But now he's like taking a moral stand against The Rock. You
The
dumb
most
son
liked
of a bitch.
person. God. The Rock might be our only hope for like did not molest anybody.
I'm not holding my fucking breath anymore.
I know, and that's the worst part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is like literally waiting for the other shoe to drop on literally anybody who has made any money in Hollywood at any point now.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
We just need The Rock.
Probably, it's probably Tyrese. Tyrese is probably that one guy who hasn't done
Yeah,
shit.
he's probably the one.
He's probably
guy.
like really respectful of literally everyone he's ever met.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Except The Rock.
We're gonna find out that's what the fucking beef is about. God damn it.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's the one who got Tyrese drunk, and that's the reason they spilled the Beats headline merger news on Facebook.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They Tyrese and Dr. Dre were drunk on a Facebook Live video, and Tyrese was just like, "This guy, he's a billionaire now. Can't tell you why, but you know." And that's like everybody immediately went into like because it hadn't been announced, and no one was ready to announce it. So it's Tyrese's fault that happened.
I suspect Dre doesn't hang out with him anymore. Maybe Dre sued him, and that's why he has
Maybe,
them.
yeah.
Forgot about Tyrese.
That's amazing. I kind of can't get over that. Like Tyrese just
It's a bold strategy.
yeah,
It's either
not going to
me
pay
or
off
The Rock.
Cotton. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's not like they were like, it's not like they canceled the rest of the Fast and the Furious movies. They're just like The Rock's making one with Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Tyrese is like, and nobody called me. Come on. I'm the least essential part of literally every one of those movies I've been in.
I mean, literally in the last movie, I believe you said that Tyrese finally did something.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave him a moment to actually do something.
Yeah. Instead of just like, yo, can I check my email on that supercomputer? Ah.
Let me make a joke that's not actually a joke.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it like it's a joke.
Oh, Tyrese, just shut the fuck up, man, and just make your movie. Jesus. Dumb asshole.
That's what's dumb is like in Baby Boy, he's actually good.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to do trash and act like I'm funny.
And then threaten to not make you trash
Yeah.
anymore.
And then beef with The Rock. Oh, man.
Say it in hell. Fucking line in the sand. Never me. Who's coming with me? Come on.
I just imagine the producers just being like,
Boss, get a load of this. Tyrese just said, if you put The Rock in the next one, he won't be in it.
Yeah. I want to see him do the Jerry Maguire moment. They're like, it's like Jordana Brewster's the one that's like, I will go with you. And he's like, thank you. Oh, wait, you weren't going to be in these anymore anyway. Shit.
Yeah. All the people who have died off, like the beardy guy.
all you can hope is it's like a wrestling heel thing or something where he's like,
Yeah.
suddenly Tyrese is going to come out and hit The Rock with a chair. And then The Rock turns around and snaps
Or he
his
just
neck.
like rips off his shirt and it's a Brahma Bull. It's like, oh, it was at work.
Yes. Oh my god. The fuck.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do this for real, I guess. We've talked about hashtag weird beefs and whatnot long enough.
Yeah.
Tyrese.
Tyrese. Oh, I guess we need some graphics and stuff.
Oh, Tyrese.
Did Evan come back?
Evan is back.
He did. He said it was either him or Daniel Day-Lewis.
Make your choice.
Yeah. I went to Paul Thomas Anderson and I told him, if you cast him again, I'm out. And then he fired me.
No, Daniel Day-Lewis is fucking retiring. You got lucky.
Yeah.
You got lucky with your bluff. One more movie, he's done. All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey! BMFcast.
Episode 399.
Oh, man. The penultimate episode.
It is. It all comes crashing down next week. But
Next
first,
week.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot Jocks.
It's good.
We like that movie.
We do.
We do. A lot.
Yeah. However, there are also bad movies. Doesn't stay away. They get a negative science scale. 1 to 5 bags isn't giant bags of trash.
Yep.
Garbage.
Garbage bags.
Throw it out.
full of dumpster juice.
Get it out
Get
of
it
here.
as far away from you as you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot it into space.
So before this whole thing, very next episode, Crashes and Burns, we decided that it was time to watch 2000's Crash and Burns.
Yeah.
And
Not
that's-
to be confused with 1990s Crash and Burn.
Right.
No, this is Burns as in Byrnes. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
it is.
We have a plot summary. It probably will say all that.
Okay.
Let's read that.
Okay.
Mismatched agents are forced to team up and track a notorious terrorist with a deadly bomb.
They're tracking
Fired.
him with a deadly bomb?
Yes, they are.
That's a weird tool to
I
use
didn't
to
write
track
this
somebody.
copy.
They wanted to find the terrorists, so they made sure that they would acquire the deadly bomb with the
Yeah,
tracker.
got to nuke the terrorist from orbit. That's the
Uh-huh.
only way to be sure.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's a virus bomb thing, but
Okay.
it's a virus that isn't something that acts a lot like a bomb.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess BJ's BJ's glad he missed this week.
He should be.
This is the type of movie that would make BJ very angry.
Yeah, it made most of us angry too.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. This is directed by John Hess, who brought us, at least us, directly, The Watchers.
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 The first one.
Wasn't there something else?
Excessive force.
Excessive
Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I have not seen.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
I skipped that week.
It helps you understand the bridging between Watchers, a relatively competent movie, to this.
Yeah.
Now, the other weirdest thing about this, and we'll get to the cast in just a second, is we didn't know this until the very end. Second unit director, Brian Richard Smith.
Right.
yeah.
Like,
Director
The man-
of Stunt Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that man's filmography went steadily, quickly downhill. However, he was known for. I mean, it makes sense hiring him as a second unit director, at least from his early days. That was kind of his shtick, his bag. That's what he did.
yeah, crazy stunts and stuff.
But like, that's also the worst part of this movie. It's all the second unit shit, and we'll get to why in a second. Let's talk about the cast for
Yeah.
a minute, because we do have a few BMFcast alums making some more appearances. Did we decide if Wolf Larson was a BMFcast alum?
He is.
He is, yeah.
He has been in 2 Andy Sedaris movies.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Picasso Trigger and the legendary, the one, the only, Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Correct. Apparently, it's two different people.
Yes.
We cannot remember who he was.
In one, he was J.J. Jackson. In the other one, he was Jimmy John.
So there's your JJ, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same character, more than like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other guy,
Yep.
Johnny
Voice-
Reeves.
Johnny Reeves.
voice actor extraordinaire for video games and animated
If
shit.
you ever played a game on your PlayStation 2,
Well,
you probably heard Johnny Reeves.
played a game up until like a year ago.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
Like everything, like shitload of games.
Yeah, he's a lot of British guys in a lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we decide if he was? I mean, I didn't look through his entire filmography because there's a
it's
shitload
either-
of games. But
See, his name's Johnny Reeves, but he's also billed as Greg Ellis
Oh, okay.
a lot.
Oh.
So he was voicing Food Fight.
okay, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
He is
Food
a,
Fight.
He is a bad
The
alum.
one, the only Food Fight.
Food Fight.
Our bags should be named after Food Fight.
They probably should. Yeah.
Bags of food. Fight.
How far down, like checking for references, did you go? Like everybody? I know we checked Stephen Williams.
Stephen
because
Williams.
He's he was like the one guy in the beginning of the movie. We were like, wait, is that? And
Yes.
like things you might recognize him from. He's the one guy in this movie that you can easily go like, wait,
yeah.
that's his kind of generic name, but is that the
if
guy?
you've seen X-Files, you know who Stephen Williams
Yeah,
is.
or like he's the
21
captain.
Jump Street.
21 Jump Street captain. Yeah. But yeah, that's him, and he is a BMFcast alum from Route 666,
Yes.
and also way back to the Monkey Hustle. Have a bit. I think he had a bit part in that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the head of the CIA in this, which the CIA consists of about a dozen people.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies. He was also the president in Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., starring David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Right.
We go deep.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
she-
No.
She was bigger than this for a while.
Yeah.
She was.
Joanna Pacula. Right. I'm just saying she never. No. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, she was in Marked for Death.
Okay. Well, there you go.
She was the Jamaican voodoo expert.
Sure. Like you do.
Okay.
That's from Jamaican voodoo expert to French terrorist. That's quite a career trajectory.
Okay,
Yeah.
going back real quick, the head of CIA.
Yeah, go on.
Terry David Mulligan. Didn't we just talk about the X-Files episode, the space one?
Yeah, because
He was the flight controller in that.
yeah, because Ed Lauder was the guy who the face kept morphing onto his face.
Oh my god! Like, what the shit?
I don't know. God, that episode's the worst.
Yeah, and it's the gift that keeps on giving to us.
We should just keep picking people from that episode.
How much deeper does that cast go?
We should just start another podcast where we analyze every minute of the classic X-Files episode, Space.
Minute by minute.
Oh my god. I'd quit
Yeah.
after one episode, probably. No, actually, we'd get through the credits. It would give us a chance to discuss the opening credits of the X-Files.
That's fine.
Among the most 90s things ever.
Yes.
Well, except for what we're about to talk about, because
This is pretty
all right,
90s.
Let me.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into the plot for. I want to keep this top level for one more second.
Okay.
Because I want to address like this film's biggest flaw is that this is one of those movies that is shot on video when everyone was convinced that DV was just as good as film. You know, like so. You can have people that were semi-competent filmmakers, and then you gave them this technology, and it's all just different enough that they didn't understand you couldn't do certain things you've done before. So, when I say shot on video, like it's not that Z grade like consumer grade thing. It's just like mini DV tapes or DAT tapes or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like
30 frames per second stuff.
Yeah. Now, well, that actually leads into what I was going to say. This movie's biggest sin is that the thing that the second unit keeps doing is almost every bit of action in this is in fake slow-mo. And not just fake slow-mo, like
digitized
fake slow-mo that it's almost like someone saw part of a Tony Scott film and was like, we can do that on video, like just the stylized action thing. But it's like that works when you have actual film. Frames that are clear. Each frame is clear, but like video works because it's like it's shitty, but it's moving just quick enough that it like doesn't really you don't catch how shitty each frame is.
Yeah.
But the other thing, like that's horrible and happens numerous times throughout the movie.
Well, it's like I think it was Chuck talked about it when talking about like mid 90s CG and how suddenly the frame would get really blurry and the shot, you're like, oh, they're going to composite some CG into it. So it's suddenly like the film quality drops considerably.
Right.
That's what this felt like. You'd see it drop and you'd be like, oh, we're about to be an action scene because it's all fake slow-mo bullshit.
Yeah. Now, the very last thing, and like this is super, like this is what really tipped me off to like exactly how incompetent they were with this equipment. This movie is actually shot, I mean, I'm sure someone working in this could correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at this movie is shot with the DV cameras that faked 24 frames a second. Not fake, they actually shot. There was a mode switch into 24 frames a second. And so it was on video, but it's supposed to give you the film look. Because like when it's shooting at normal FPS and staying relatively still and not trying to do action, this movie looks all right. Like, I mean, it's fairly well lit for dialogue scenes and things like that. And almost would trick you into thinking it's filmed for a little bit. And then, like, as soon as they do the fake slow-mo, and even more so, there were some other additional non-action second unit or pickup shots that were done in this, where someone used a camera that was set to 30 frames a second. Clearly. Like, I immediately saw this, and, like, there were certain motions where it was like, oh, okay, that was shot in 30, this is shot in 24. Like, I mean, I'm not one of those people that, like, video games can go, like, immediately, like, oh, that's running at this. But when it comes to film, like, there were little insert shots where it's like, you didn't flip or you used the camera that didn't have that function, and you were like, nobody will notice it. Or somebody just did that the whole time, and they're like, fuck, we're wrapped, and all these pickup shots are in 30 frames. Oh, well. So
Shrug emoji.
Yeah, like, it's just like...
Yeah, there's a lot of tech, and I kind of have to disagree with you, because this feels very late 90s, early 2000s TV-ish to me.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, basically every single shot feels like it's of that era.
Right. No, I mean, I would never say, like, this wasn't video. Like, this would never fool me into being like, was this filmed? I'm just saying, like, standard, not a lot of action. Like, dialogue scenes were crisp and shot pretty well, like lit
Yeah.
well enough. I'm just saying, like as soon as things started moving, it was like, oh yeah, there's that video effect.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. So, Crash and Burns.
Huh.
Yeah.
It opens like Crash coming home, is like in a log cabin or something, or did we get like backstory on the terrorists first? No, that was all done by flashback.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he just comes home and gets KO'd. Because
Yeah, his name is Jack Crash Riley
uh-huh.
because everyone calls him Riley through most of the movie.
Yeah, and also neither of them really introduce themselves for like the first 20 minutes. They just say, "Hey, guy, hey, you, welcome back, buddy." You know, it's like, who the fuck is Crash and who the fuck is Burns?
Yeah, but I think they actually start with Burns. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Crash comes home and he smells someone in his house
He does, yes.
because he straight up walks in.
His
and,
crash powers are
and
growing
slowly
off.
comes in. Yeah, and I'm like, does he have crash vision?
Uh-huh.
No, he just smelled her perfume, which a woman attacks him
With a kendo stick.
with a kendo stick,
Yep.
to which he has already grabbed a kendo stick to defend himself, and they do a little back and forth, and then
You know, kendo stick flirting,
yeah,
flirt fighting. I don't know.
and he goes, "Oh, she's like, how did I give myself away?" He said, "I smelled your perfume because I gave it to you, whenever that was, that we had a relationship in the past
Yeah.
that we do not have anymore."
And I think it's during this that he flashes back to the...
Well, it's like when she's like, "We need you back," and he's like, "I told you I quit," and all that bullshit. And then it's like she's like, "No, we need you, and it can only be you. Like, you're the only one that can do this." And then like she leaves, and then it just is like the doodaloo
Yeah.
flashback to when he was in
Vietnamistan.
some shit. I don't know if it
5
was,
years prior.
I don't know if it was the shit. He was just in some shit.
Later, they just keep calling it the Barn, which is the least coolest battle name ever.
Yeah,
Remember when you guys tried to take the Barn?
Yeah, remember when we stormed it?
yeah. I mean, at least call it like DE Dust or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But-
But you know,
But yeah,
Canada.
but what it has is the one that we actually saw in the scene that opened the movie. Now that I remember it, is them basically breaking into a place and stealing some kind of vial of something.
All right.
It's a lady and her henchman sidekick, and that's when we first see the slow motion gun stuff, because it's like normal. They're looking through binoculars. All right, some guy plants a bomb. Bomb goes off and people start running in with guns, and it is literally just smeared, blurry, digital, fake slow-mo. Like, not just like to accent scenes, and we're like, wait, what? It is the entirety of everything. Like, even them bringing in the refrigerator that they need to contain this virus vial is slow-mo. The fake slow-mo.
Yep.
So it's very clearly a stylistic choice made, but I have no idea why. Like it's baffling.
Like I said, it feels
But-
like they were going for a Tony Scott style thing, but
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
you
but
didn't get there.
The woman who has stolen this vial and gotten away with it is the woman who is shooting at him as he's shooting back in his flashback in the shit. To which apparently he's got a headset on or something, and he hears that he's got somebody who's died next to him, and he wants to get the body out because he hears airstrike incoming. To which they cut to stock footage from whatever of jets, and they keep cutting back. And it's one of those things like where you just don't understand how to do color timing on anything.
No.
So it's so clearly shots from a different movie or stock footage or whatever.
It's so bad. It looks like it was a 3D shot, and they just like left it. Like, I mean, that's it. Like you can see like double vision on all the jets. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it's 3D film, and they were just like, I don't know.
It was like they had pictures of jets on like cellophane, and they just put it over a skydrop and just shook them around. But
Yeah.
like every time they're like, "Okay, jets, go do something," the jets just start flying upside down and doing crazy shit. And it's just like, "No, guys, you're on a bombing run. What the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing?"
there's one where he's flying inverted. It's like, all right, we're about to take the shot.
It's like,
at what?
yeah, you launched that bomb. I'm sorry, you're the first to go. There,
Yeah.
jet guy.
Yeah.
Well, I just gave him the finger.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah. But so
they nuke the barn.
Yeah,
using stock footage from Vietnam.
yeah, which is a whole bunch of explosions, but he just hides behind a little half wall that's about maybe 1.5 feet tall, and apparently survives it. But
yeah.
the woman was in the barn as it got blown up,
Yeah,
presumed dead, but of course not.
and the guy he was trying to first save and then trying to get the body out is the dad of
the woman who has
the
come
woman
to
who
recruit
is
him.
kendo sticking him.
Yeah, we don't know that yet, but yes.
Yeah, Lizette is her name.
Oh, okay.
Or no, Lizette is the bad lady.
All right.
yeah.
Becky is the
Oh,
good
sure.
lady.
Becky.
Yeah, with the good hair.
Yes, Becky. So from all this is when we're introduced to Byrnes,
Right.
who is interrogating a suspect.
He is.
And the suspect, I'm not going to talk. I'm not doing anything. And the DEA agent, who does not have a card because he's not allowed to speak at any point, is asked to leave the room. He goes with the chief or whoever, and the chief's like, just let him do his thing. And
Watch this.
So of course Byrnes unplugs the camera. He's like, all right, we're going to do this now. And I'm British, but I'm kind of not. But yeah, he's like, I'm crazy, man. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. And he opens his six shooter, spins the chamber, drops a bullet in, and then he goes, all right, we're gonna play a little game. And every time you don't tell me what I want to hear, I'm gonna fire this gun. And just to give you a little whatever,
I'll go first.
I'll go first. And so he puts the trigger next to his head and click. And the guy's like, you're crazy, man. And he's like, yeah, you never get used to it. Every time you do it. So then the guy's like, I don't know nothing. So he shoots once. And the guy goes, all right. Oh,
I do know some things.
Yeah, I know.
But that's all I know.
Yeah.
Click. Oh, wait. No, I remembered something else.
I know the square root of 36. It's 6. And
Click.
eventually he gets whatever information it is that he needs.
Yep.
And then,
I
of
mean,
course,
to be fair, he did click it 5 times, so the guy was like, oh, shit, it's got to be next.
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
yeah. But then the chief comes in and he's like, it works every time, doesn't it, guy? And Byrnes is like, yeah.
Well, he says,
He goes,
like,
one day you're going to put the wrong bullet
yeah.
in there. So I guess it was supposed to be a blank.
or whatever they call
just
it. Yeah, there's a dummy round.
I was going to say, a blank would have killed them as
yeah,
well.
that's good.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they don't in theory. I mean,
There's still
They
something.
if you put
is
it to your
expelled.
head, it can. Absolutely.
Something is still expelled. Either way.
But like this whole thing is about like Lebanese money flooding into this country or something, and it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, but they keep talking about it, and then they talk about it just enough to make it sound important, and then never talk about it again.
Yes.
So, but yeah, the chief basically tells him, "You're great, and now we're loaning you to the CIA. Get over there now." And he's like, "Well, I never.
And he wants nothing to do with it.
And they're like, "You do what you're told," and he's like, fine."
Yeah.
So he goes to the CIA.
Yeah, and going to the CIA, he pulls into Crash's parking space
Yeah.
like an asshole, like a serious, complete asshole.
So, oh, sorry, mate. Didn't
Yeah.
see your name on it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, no, he doesn't even. He's not even like sorry. He's like, I didn't see your name on the space,
Yeah.
and he's like, I was clearly waiting for it. He's like, oh well, my car's here now.
Yeah. So their beef, the basis of their beef is this parking space for
Yeah.
an hour of this movie.
Yep, yep. Because then he goes in, and the guy behind the thing is like making him wait. Byrnes goes in. He's making Byrnes wait because there's another guy, an old man who's like got change in his pocket and then has to go back through. And Byrnes is like, I'm DEA, and shows him his badge, and he's like, you can wait there, guy.
Yeah.
But then Crash comes in, like, oh my God, Crash, so great to see you, buddy. How you been? And they just let him.
But
walk
he also
through.
doesn't call him Crash.
Yeah,
He
or
just kept
Riley.
saying. He just keeps saying, "Hey, guy. Hey,
Well, he says
it's
Riley.
you."
He says Riley.
Yeah,
but either way. But I love that Riley walks through the machine and it goes off, and the
Yeah.
guy's like, ah.
Yes. And he's like, "Hey, you see that guy back there? He parked in my spot." I mean, first he gives the security guy his keys. He's like, "Hey, could you go park my car for me?" And I'm like, "You motherfucker!"
Yeah.
And then he's
You're
like,
kind of a piece of shit.
"Yeah." And then he's like, that guy back there, he parked in my spot. Why don't you go, shit in his car?
Well, no, he goes, give him the Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him the full Monty.
Yeah. Which then Byrnes goes, or Crash goes in and gets the tail end of some kind of briefing. And
Yeah, he misses every important
yeah,
detail.
basically, then like they walk by and they're like, "So what did you think about what you heard?"
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really hear anything.
I heard
What-
nothing. I just walked in here.
yeah. But they're like, and there's one guy who's like, I guess another agent who's supposed to be in charge.
Kelly.
But
Yeah, he's like he's the mission commander, not the deputy,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
CIA director or whatever.
yeah, because the one guy is the guy supposed to be the director of the CIA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Even though he's in Seattle or Portland or wherever they are.
Yes.
Yeah, but the other guy, he's like, all right, we got to talk to you, Crash. And he's like, all right. And then the other guy's just kind of like hanging around. He's like, you can go.
Yeah. Like, aw. I wanted
He's
to
like,
hear.
he's like, no, I'm part of all of the information on this mission. He's like, well, this is personal.
Oh, okay.
He's like, oh, all right. And he leaves. And that's when they present him he's like, yeah, why'd you guys bring me back? I didn't want to come back. And they're like, here's the dossier, and it's the typical like throw the folder at him thing.
Yeah.
He's like, read it. And then it turns out he's the only person who's seen this woman that got blown up in the barn, Lizette, and they figure it's her.
Yep.
It has to be her because throw another dossier at him, and it's
she always works with that guy.
This guy only works with her. He's been underground for 5 years, and he's reappeared.
Yeah.
And he's only ever done anything with her, so she's got to be back. And he's like, but she blew up in that barn. And they're like, and the lady's like, well, and Becky, my dad's the only body that was ever positively identified. So
yeah, and they're also, hey, by the way, you've got a partner.
yeah,
Womp womp.
yeah, you're gonna have to work with somebody, and that's when they go and they find him being he's in his Byrnes is in his boxers, and he's getting basically been strip searched by this other guy.
Yep.
And I don't know if he's continuing to be violated or what, but he's like, oi, you Americans, what's the big idea?
Does a hand bra. He's just
Yeah.
like, don't look at my nipples. Like, dude.
Yeah, it's all the stuff that's supposed to be played for comedy, but because these people aren't good at comedy, none of it's sold at all.
About halfway through, I said this is a cop movie for kids, because that's the level of comedy. It's just like, what's a placeholder joke you would put in to come back and write an actual clever line later? They never came back and wrote the clever line. It's always just, oi, I'm naked. It's just like, yes, and so
yeah, but that's when he's like, "Oh, you guys are terrible. I'm leaving," and the director of the CIA is like, "Oh, who's your boss? Is it whatever?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah."
I'm his best
Is it
friend.
Basil Fawlty?
Yeah, he's like, I'm good friends with him.
Yeah.
I can have you work in Heathrow if you want for the rest of your life, just searching luggage. And he's like, all right, where do we start, governor? And so, yeah.
Yep.
So now Byrnes has to work with them.
Yeah.
And
They bitch about it a lot.
and they go and they get in Crash's truck. And immediately he's like, hey, where's my Mustang? He's like, oh, they must have towed it to search it. He's like, oi! And all angry about that. And
It's a little more.
I mean, if
him just saying oi.
well, yeah, they do spend a lot of time arguing. Like there's a couple times where she's like, we need to go.
Yeah.
Because they're too busy bitching at each other about something.
Yes.
And yeah, but they are going to, there's a stakeout they have to go
Well,
to.
I was just gonna say, like with this, like his car that got towed or whatever, and supposedly checked for security. If this had been a movie with any budget whatsoever, they would have cut to like a disassembled Mustang,
Yes.
in parts and wah, wah, but not that it would have made it funny. I'm just, it's the thing you've seen in lots of other movies that have some budget.
Yeah. And
It's
like they
oh, you
well, they end the scene like she's like, get in the car crash, and Byrnes is like,
don't get in a car crash.
Get in the vehicle,
Yeah.
Mr. Crash.
and Byrnes is like, Crash, is that your name? And Byrnes is just like, we're allowed to have nicknames in America.
Yeah.
And it's just like, is that
Yeah,
what
it's what we call a nickname in
the
America.
fuck?
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so they go to this stakeout, and it's like the clumsiest stakeout in the history of stakeouts, because there are literally like 8 agents just kind of standing on a roof, huddled around each other, like they're almost waiting turns to have the binoculars.
I like that it says Old Docks, Seattle. And I don't care how old of a Seattle you get. This is the only building for miles.
Yeah.
Like, there is nowhere in Seattle that is like this. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just some building on a lake somewhere.
But they are literally like bowling pin humans. They are all just standing there in a mass of humanity with every spy gadget they could possibly have, secretly looking 50 feet away at what's going on. It's like, all it's going to take is one dude to look up and go, hey, there's a bunch of dudes up there with cameras and shit.
They had cloaking technology, Chuck. It's
No.
the CIA.
Nope.
They have these things.
They didn't.
Like Mission Impossible, you put that little thing up and it's a mirror,
Yeah.
sort of.
But they're listening and they're getting some garbled audio, but
Yeah.
but they're like, oh, we're trying to figure out where, and they say, oh, this guy's arrived. Is it Victor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Victor
And-
shows up and Byrnes is like, fuck, I've been chasing Victor my whole
yeah,
life.
he goes, eat my shorts. That's Victor.
Yeah. Right.
And then he's like, all right, we're going down there. And Crash is like, no, this is not why we're here. We don't care about him. We care about him, but we care about his bosses. We have to get them.
Yeah. but he's already 50 feet away.
Yeah,
Going, oi,
and Byrnes
oi,
has
oi."
already, oi, and run away, and he's like down the ladder on the boat, like,
Yeah.
Crash is like, son of a bitch, I gotta go get him, and, but Byrnes is like, all right, whatever, I've been chasing this guy for 5 years, I have to go catch him.
Yes.
So he literally puts everyone's lives in danger that was there.
Yep.
To go after the guy who I guess is having some meeting where I guess somebody owed him money, but then the guys who were supposed to pick up the money have never shown up.
It was the giant bag of Lebanese money.
Okay. Oh, this was tied in.
So like this cab driver, double agent guy, I don't know who he is. He's just like, I gave it to your dude, and then finally they drag the dude in, and he's like, the CIA took your money, or the DEA took it.
Yeah. And he's like, the DEA, so you've been followed. And it's like, no, he wasn't. You just happened to end up at the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's when Byrnes busts in and immediately takes Victor hostage and makes the other guys drop their guns in faked digital
slow-mo.
slow motion.
Yep.
And Byrnes sneaks on and then is able to save him because he says, or Crash sneaks on and says, Byrnes, duck, and shoots the guy dead.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he has told everyone, Crash has told everyone in there when he's like, fuck, we got to go in. He's like, I need them all alive. Take them all alive. Immediately kill shots the very first guy that even looks weird at him. Just fucking drops him.
Yeah. And then some sort of shootout occurs.
It's tough to tell.
It is.
Because it's all smeared
Yeah.
digital slow-mo.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, this boat is just a fucking labyrinth. Like, they just go down in supposedly the bowels of this boat, and it's a fucking foundry. Like, they're just running around down corridors and everything, and eventually Victor is like, all right, you go this way, do thing. I'm going to go out this way. And he sets down a briefcase, goes up a tiny ladder and out a door, and then, like, barricades the door. So they come running in, and apparently wherever they ran from locked behind them, I guess.
A guy snuck up behind them and barricaded
Yeah.
that door also.
Sure. So, like, they're trapped in this little tiny room, sort of, and the briefcase is like, oh, I told you, Victor, to have a contingency. It's like, no, well, you didn't tell us because we didn't hear that. But, and he's like, don't tell me that's a bomb. Well, oh, no.
Yep.
And he's like, don't worry, I spent a year on the British bomb defusal squad or something like that. And, you know, just your typical bullshitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And blah, blah, blah. Cut the green wire. It's always a green wire. And Crash is like, what? It's never the green wire. And he's like, yeah, totally is. Green wire. I'm cutting it.
Yep. And it stops for a second, and then it does what every bomb in every movie does, and it goes tick, 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 tick,
Yeah,
tick,
fast
tick.
countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they go running, and
They just find another door.
yeah, they just go out another door, which they could have done all along, I guess.
Oh,
but-
yeah. They shoot the lock off.
Oh,
first.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
they somehow make their way off the boat, and then do a really bad like dive off the boat as it sort of explodes.
Well, it's slow-mo and smeary.
yeah.
Except one of the shots is not.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's one of the it's. Ugh.
Yep.
Yep. And then as they're both trying to getting out of the water, climbing up the ladder, and Byrnes is like, "Oh, you let him get away," and he's like, "Listen, fucker, you ruined everything." Because then he gets up top, and he goes, "All right, so what's the deal?" She goes, "Well, we got 3 dead, and the rest got away." He's like,
Oh no, 3 got away, and all the rest are dead.
Oh, yeah, okay,
It was
yeah.
the other way around.
"Okay, yes,
Yes.
And the 3 guys that mattered are the ones who
Right.
got away, of
Yep.
course,
Yep.
and they killed all the rest of them.
Which she's on the like they saw him got on a tiny boat and rowed away, and she's radioing in. It's like
Just
You-
keep
you
eye
have
on the boat.
You had a sniper.
Yeah.
well, like you don't have any other resources, like something like
Yeah.
you knew you were meeting them on the water, like. You have
Okay.
cars. You can have a boat. You can have a helicopter. Anything.
In her defense, though,
Uh-huh.
it was a surveillance mission. They were not supposed to be going in.
Yeah, but it escalated
I
quite
mean,
a bit. At
I've
that
s-
point,
Yeah.
they know you're there.
Like by 2000, like we pretty much like we'd had Enemy of the State and stuff. Like we
Yeah.
expected like you can fucking task a satellite. Like
Yes.
this was past the point of like, oh well, they're out of line of sight. Don't know where they are. Like we just
Yeah,
assumed,
that's
you know.
okay. Yes, yeah, I will cede that to you
Yeah, like,
easily.
They had no time to have that conversation because Byrnes is too busy saying that he's wet.
Yeah,
Because he has to just go,
no,
"Oi,
I mean, I'm
I'm
just
wet."
saying. I'm talking about how this is like
yeah, how they got away.
The,
I know.
the rinky-dink fucking CIA.
I'm just
or-
saying no one had time to focus on the details because Byrnes gets out and he's like, "Oi, I'm wet over here."
I mean, this
And
was 2000, and the director of the CIA still had a fucking pager on. You know, I'm throwing it out there. Like this is This is your tax dollars hard at work here. Like, this is bullshit.
Canada just didn't get the memo that their downstairs neighbor had advanced a little bit.
Either way, the people who actually mattered got away.
Yeah.
And Crash just hops in the car and takes off, leaving Byrnes behind to drip all over everything.
Right. Which, I mean, he gets back and, like, they're having a debriefing or whatever, and he apparently just sprinted the fuck in. Yeah.
Oh, because they leave him behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows back up and is still dripping wet.
This does give Crash a chance to tell the director that Byrnes is a loose cannon.
Yeah. He blurts it out at the start of a scene. Like, there's no build to it.
Nope.
And no one relishes in it. He's just like, I can't work with him. He's a loose cannon.
It was after he came and pointed at the map. Like, he came running in, dripping wet, and like, look, do you want to know where they are or not?
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, fine.
Well, that's the only reason they let him stay on.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because he did
that.
that.
And he was like, look, I was undercover with them for a year. It's always a year when he's bullshitting, I guess. But like, he's like, yeah, they would be here. This is near their base of operation, and there's a town here. We can. I know a guy. We'll go talk to him. And they're like, all right, fine, you're back on. And then yes, they're just walking down the stairs. He's like, you can't be serious about this guy. He's a loose cannon. And yes, we get a loose cannon in this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's just road trip. And Crashes real
they're like, Becky, you go with them.
Yeah.
And he protests a little bit because it's like, what, you're not a field agent, there's no reason for you to go.
Well,
and she's like,
and there's also like, Becky keeps flirting with Byrnes for no discernible reason, because Byrnes is kind of a piece of shit, and he has been throughout.
Yeah.
Like, we're underselling how big of a dick Byrnes has been thus far.
Well, they both kind of are. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Crash is, but at least Crash is like
professional.
Yeah, Crash isn't like, I'm going to endanger lives.
Yeah.
Just because
he is definitely taking the Danny Glover role here of like, well, you're making sense. You know, like you were retired or close to it or whatever, but
yeah. And she also gives them shots that vaccinate them from the virus because they've been told, okay, there's what's happening. They've got the virus. We got to get it. And with Crash, she just like jams in his arm, and it's really painful. And then with Byrnes, she's very nice and makes it very easy for him.
It also appears they share a needle, so
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean,
Crash and burn with
I
that.
suppose that, like they could have like changed the needle itself, but the vial was the same.
Yeah,
and usually
you have to draw some out. Yeah.
I mean, just throwing that out there. Anywho, but
yeah. So they're in the car and arguing again. Byrnes is like, I'm a dick, douchey thing. Haha, Crash, you suck. I don't like being here. Let's make this worse. And then Becky's like, you two need to stop arguing. And at some point, I guess Byrnes is driving and Crash goes in the back and he's like, wait, what are you reading? And he realizes it's his own file and that she was sent to keep an eye on him.
It's
and
his psych
they're
file.
evaluating his mental state.
Yeah.
And so he's not happy with that and literally tears up his own file.
Yep.
And Byrnes is just like, ha.
Oh, and also we're being treated to like before they left, he was like, I've got some CDs, I'll go get them. Do you like Barry White? Haha. That's sexy music. But
and she likes Barry White.
And then he's like, look, I got you some Beethoven. Ha 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 ha, or something like that. And like,
again, first draft joke that didn't get changed.
They play that because it's, I don't know if you've heard, but that's pretty much royalty free. Copyright claim's been a little defunct for a while. But then, between all this wonderful dialogue, we're being treated to royalty-free music classics on the CD player.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good
Not
jams.
really.
Oh.
No, they're not. Anyway.
No. But yeah, so, and then, when he tries to go to sleep, Byrnes turns it up so that he can't. And at about this point is when the CIA chief is talking with shady other mission control guy or whatever he is.
I just
What'd you call him?
Huh? Oh, just like the mission director, whatever.
Yeah,
you call
mission
it.
director.
I think I said commander because
whatever
NASA thing. I just realized something about their dynamic, like this nitpicky, like because he crashes like, wake me up. We're about an hour away. Wake me up when we're close. And he's like, oh, you're gonna sleep, are you? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna rest. Like the pointless bickering, like they really don't have any kind of beef. Like reminds me of why White Men Can't Jump works and Money Train doesn't. Like it's the same two people, but like there's nothing earned. Like there's no reason for them to have any beef in Money Train. They're just it's like they're not the same characters from the other movie. You can't just assume that they're good at bantering at each other. There's no earned why are you at each other's throats in this fucking movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's just this. It's like because he's took your parking space, or
I mean Byrnes is a dick, and anyone should be feuding with him. But it's just their feud is dumb. It's just
it's petty.
It's just whatever Byrnes says, I'm gonna go nuh-uh, and it's like, well, that's fucking stupid,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just that one in particular was just like, oh, you're so weak, you're gonna take a little nap, are you? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just turns up the radio so he can't.
Right. Yeah. It's just so fucking stupid.
But meanwhile, the CIA director is talking to the mission control guy, mission commander, whatever. And it's basically like, well, we got a real choice to make here. If you could, if you could save millions of lives by sacrificing one innocent life, would you do it? And the guy's like, well...
Yeah, they're playing Scruples or whatever.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, well, if it was only completely necessary, sir.
The needs of the many.
Yeah. Which you're kind of like, huh, are they setting it up to... Are they going to crash up to murder him or something?
I thought they had injected Crash with, the virus, and then Byrnes had the antidote, and they were just going to have to somehow merge.
He's going to have to get fucked by Byrnes if he wants to live. You men are going to settle your differences or you're going to die.
I thought they made Crash like a walking time bomb or something.
Yep. And the only cure is in Byrnes' semen.
You gotta fuck.
Yeah, but I could only get off with car crashes.
Oh, God.
One only gets the hots with car crashes. Yeah. The other one has an STD. It's Crash and Byrnes.
God damn it.
That's even worse.
Yeah. But anyway, they go to wherever they're supposed to be, and Byrnes has a shitty disguise on, and he tries to put on the stupid hat, and then Crash is like, what are you doing? Take the hat off. And he's like, no, I need it, because they get inside, and he's like, we got to find the guy I meet. I need to talk to. And he starts talking to the guy, and the guy's like, you got to get out of here, man. Everyone wants to kill you. And then Byrnes is like, oh, yeah, that's right. Everyone in this town wants me dead because I double-crossed somebody or something.
I did thing.
Yeah, I did something, but immediately, two gangs have swarmed on this place to come to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And because we know that an action scene's about to happen, the
smear
look
effect,
of it gets shitty, and things start smearing, and these two guys start arguing about with their respective gangs of 3 or 4 henchmen behind them. But no, I get to kill Byrnes because he put the scar on my face. And like, no, well, I'm gonna kill him. And
the other one's like, who's Byrnes? Because they were actually there for the we'll say Middle Eastern looking gang.
Yeah,
was there for their contact for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why they were there for that guy, and the other one's there to kill Byrnes because I guess they saw him for scarring that dude in whatever stupid way he did.
Yep. Either way, they get in a shootout, and Crash and Byrnes are able to just kind of run out.
Pretty much, yeah.
While the other guys are attacking each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Consummate cops there, protecting the public.
Yep. And they just kind of leave. I think they take a photo with them or something at that point, because that photo comes up later, the Polaroid or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know.
I think that's where they get it. I don't know.
I started tuning out somewhere around here.
Yeah.
A little bit, I'm not going to lie.
I wasn't sure where they got the Polaroid, because it was burned.
Yeah.
And
how did it get burned?
I don't know. But
How
they enhance it.
Oh, yeah, way later. Yeah. But whatever they do, I don't even, how do they even get to the next point? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Like this movie was
No. I do remember this. Okay, so when the shootout happened, they got away, and that's when they went into the shit. How did they know we were here? We've been double crossed, and so they just got away and literally fucked off out of town. This isn't safe. We can't be here. And
that's right. They end up running into
the
woods.
They're running by a river and everything and arguing still. And they're like, oh, I don't know. Becky's the only one who really knows we're here, right? And so he's like, what? No, you son of a bitch. You don't know our history and everything. So they sort of start suspecting her. And then they're like, well, what about Wheeler, the guy that's running everything? He's like, oh, I don't know. I've known him for a long time too. And helicopters come in and are like, oh shit, run into the woods.
Actually, the reason that happens is the scene that's after this, where they
okay.
actually find the terrorists and they find the bomb. But in the room they're in, and that's what I was trying to figure out, is how they got from point A to point B there. But however it is, they find them, and they see them loading the bomb, and they also are in some room where they've kept all their confidential documents out, which is one that details a plan to assassinate the president on official letterhead, where Wheeler, the CIA guy, has like his name's on it, the letterhead and everything.
Yeah.
And it's basically the terrorists have made a deal with the CIA that if the CIA assassinates the president, that they will not release the bomb.
Because the president has been inoculated against the virus. So they can't just set off the virus and kill the president.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also been made clear that the inoculation they got had a 50-50 chance of working.
Yes.
To which Byrnes says, maybe I should have gotten 2 shots. Wah, wah. That funny guy Byrnes. Yeah. But anyway, so they find out that's the deal, and they're like, I can't believe this. So but somebody tips them off, the terrorists, and they're like, we got to get out of here. There's somebody here. And they leave.
That's when they had just set up, and then they're like, back in the truck, everybody.
Yeah, and that's when the guys, like, they get a chain, and this is when, like, Crash shifts into, I'm going to do shit mode. Yeah. And they grab a chain, and they chain the back of the truck as the truck takes away, and Crash just steps in front of the truck, and they stop, and Lizette looks at him and is like, oh my god, it's Crash. And Crash is like, oh my god, it's Lizette. And then they attempt to run him over in smeary digital slow motion, and the chain, grabs the back bumper and yanks it to a stop.
It doesn't American Graffiti the truck. It just sort of like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. And everybody jumps out of the back like, oh, I get the chain off the bumper.
Yeah. The shit's got to be off the chain.
Yep.
But they end up, like, emptying their guns.
Yeah, they both shoot back and forth. Somehow, Byrnes gets from behind the truck to where Crash is in front of the truck. And she throws a grenade or something, or some kind of bomb at them that they run away.
She doesn't just throw a grenade at them. It's like full force. Like, Nolan Ryan's this thing into their general vicinity.
Like, up against something in particular. That's what made it weird. It's like, they don't explode via impact, right? You just
that's going to ricochet back towards you.
Like, because she hits the little wall or whatever they're hiding behind, it just clang. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but it blows up, and they somehow just get to run away from this, and the people in the truck are like, all right, well, we're leaving.
Yeah.
And also they had left Becky in the car, and that's why they have the discussion. Well, did Becky do it? We don't know.
Plus, we saw Wheeler's name. It's like, but who knew we were here specifically? It's like, well, only her.
And meanwhile, Wheeler, the CIA guy, and shady mission commander have basically said, like, so he knows about the plan now. Like, Crash isn't going to go for this. So we got to. If he's not there and he's not dead, then he's out there and he knows, and this is bad news for us. And so that's when they send the helicopters out and find them, and
basically just pull up in cars. Like, the helicopters
they get chased down into the woods.
Yeah, I mean, this is weird because either this was good stock footage from something, but it was strange because, like, they brought in real helicopters. I mean, it seemed like, and they were flown
pretty low
and pretty well, like pretty close together.
Yeah,
it's just strange. It seems like this is where they spent pretty much almost all their budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just ended up, like, cars pull up on either side of them, and out jumps Wheeler and a bunch of guys, and he's like, be cool, act like we have bullets still in our guns, and we'll bluff them. And he's just like, look, if I was coming here to kill you, would I even be out of the car right now? I'd just be watching my guys shoot you. Like, I want to talk. And finally, he's like, all right.
And I love that Byrnes is like, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Don't you go with him. And he's like, we don't have any bullets, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, right.
Yeah, he busts the bluff on him, like, without, basically doesn't give him a choice. He's like, yeah, by the way, we don't have any bullets. It's like, oh, okay. So they get in the car, and he proceeds to basically, he tells them the part that we just said, that, like, the CIA has agreed that we'll shoot the president in order for the terrorists not to do this. He's like, but wait, there's more. And they go back to CIA headquarters. And, well, CIA headquarters, Seattle, but Seattle. And that's where we get Stephen Williams come in.
Whose name is Shannon.
Shannon, okay.
Says, I am Shannon.
Yeah.
And I have come to recruit you for Sphinx.
Sphinx.
And they're like, well, what? And he's like, it's a top secret organization that blah, blah, blah.
We do everything in answer to nobody, and we're the best, and we do all the cool shit.
Yeah, and be thankful we're recruiting you, because we only recruit the best of the best. We've been watching you for a very long time. We are Sphinx.
Yep.
Sphinx.
And they're like, are you in? And they're like, yes. And he's like, cool, see ya.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe at one point, 20 minutes later, someone says, "Don't forget you're in Sphinx now."
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh yeah," and that means literally to fuck all.
Because that's when Byrnes figures out the photo. He brings a burned photo and he does the CSI enhance that.
Yeah.
Enhance. And then it's like it becomes a perfect photo
Super clear.
of one of the terrorists with this girl, and they're like, "That's his girlfriend." Oi.
Yeah.
And he's like, and that's when and this is him and Becky, and he's like, "We can only listen. We can only tell Crash about this. We can't tell anybody else." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Because they've already established that everyone on the entire floor knew about the operation as soon as Becky called it in.
Yep.
Because he's like, "There's a leak," and then Becky's like, "It wasn't me, you fucker."
Yeah.
And Crash is like, "Hey, I'm just saying, you're the one who called it in." And they're like, "Well, somebody on this floor knows," and that's when you find out that it's, of course, the shady guy who has been shady throughout.
And not everyone in the CIA is part of the Sphinx thing. It's just like
No.
It's just.
But
like,
Becky is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becky, the director, obviously Stephen Williams, now them. They've been recruited. That's kind of it. Like, because like I'm confused because there's shady guy, but I don't think he's like the mission commander guy. I think he's like an underling to that guy because there's another guy like the shady guy is not the one who was like, but I need to be in the meeting in the beginning.
He was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there's another guy who's like seems like he's somewhat in charge.
There are a couple other guys, but it's
Whatever.
basically
Doesn't
him. But Crash keeps making it clear that guy, he doesn't answer to that guy
Right.
at some point, but everybody else seems to.
Well, cause
Except
like
for the director.
Well, they also he
Except for
does
Will.
establish that they had history. Like he was the mission commander on the one that went bad, and his partner died. And at one point he gets up in his face, is like, "Well, maybe if you'd done what you're supposed to." Like, I mean, it's just being your partner might still be alive. You know, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
That, like the bad guy always does, and antagonizing the good guy or whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, he's like, we got to tell Crash about the girlfriend. And he's like, "We can't tell anybody else." And she's like, "You're in Sphinx now,
Sphinx.
so you should know that
Right.
we got to share this."
And he's like, "Oh yeah."
And then they get in the room and they have like this scene that's drawn out for far too long of like the debate of like Byrnes is like, "Hey man, I think we found his girlfriend and maybe we should check this out." And then the director's like, "What's Byrnes talking about? Do you have information for us, Byrnes?" And then
oh no. That's
yeah,
personal.
and he's like, and then they're like, "We should hear what he has to say," you know. And they drag out this whole thing, and then he basically relays all the information that he's already relayed to us to them, and he's like, "It's I don't know her name, but I might be able to talk to one of the dealers who knows who I busted earlier, who knows who she is," and then they're like, "Okay," because there's been a whole thing going on with the CIA debate about where the bomb is going to be if they have to stop it.
Where would they put it?
Yeah. And of course, Shady Guy is like, Portland is the focus, you know, and so they're all like, we got to go to Portland, where, of course, he's talked to Lizette, the evil lady, and she's like, Seattle, we're planning the bomb in Seattle, so they can't have very much resources there, because they talked about spreading them out to different places. And he's like, no, we have to focus on the primary target, which is going to be Portland. So, yeah, he's been trying to divert people away from where they need to be. But, and this is the part where they're like, no, you guys, Crash, Byrnes, you got to go to Portland. And he's like, it's a lead, let's just follow it. So they let them, and that's when he goes and they do the whole interrogation with the other guy again, and Byrnes intimates that Crash is the angel of death and that he loves to cut people and he's a crazy man, and basically gets this guy to talk in a scene that I assume is supposed to be comical.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, they
I think
find
a lot of them are supposed
they
to be
find the
comical.
girlfriend who works in a rub and tug establishment.
Massage parlor.
Not a tub and rug establishment.
Tub and rug.
No.
Well, it's called Rub-a-Dub-Dub.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is in the sleazy part of town, as
Oh.
you've learned.
Oh.
So if you want to get a rug and a tub, you would not go there. But yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I know him, and he gave me this phone, and this is where he'd call me on the phone. And they're like, has anyone else called? She's like, no, I don't use that phone because it's 2000. Who uses a cell phone?
And I hear they cause cancer,
Yeah, brain cancer.
tumors and stuff.
And that's when Byrnes is like, oh, I heard that.
I heard that too.
Yeah,
Boy.
Yeah, boy. where Crash is like, you fucking idiot, shut up. And
So
then
they
so
just-
he's like, we need to find where that number came from. And
I think they just dial it.
yeah, they dial it, and it just rang. Yeah, what were they gonna do if he the guy's like, yes, I'm the terrorist.
Is your refrigerator running?
Yeah,
Do you have Prince Albert in the can?
Oi, click.
no. But they go to where that number is. They finally track it down, and it's a payphone.
Yep.
This is 2000.
Yep.
Payphones were still a thing back then.
Sure.
But then I guess they decided to search the building that's near it.
I love. Well, they cut to like they call it one time and they cut to the payphone just ringing, and then they're like, do things and get it traced, and then they go to the payphone and they're right there, and then all of a sudden he's just like, I have a hunch, and they just go running around. Wait, this was actually earlier. This is how they found the fucking plans in the first place. No. I'm sorry. Yes, they found the paperwork that said Wheeler, and then they found the plans. So they just wander into this boathouse. Like it's a fucking fishing village. There's boathouses everywhere, but they wander right into the right one,
which is where the guys are.
Yeah, and like they just left moments earlier, and like were supposedly scrubbing the place clean, no trace left behind.
Yeah, just the henchmen were left.
Yeah, and so they're kind of like poking around. The henchmen come around the corner, like, oh shit, and start another blurry, smudged up gunfight, and then basically sort of kind of get away from them, but wander in another room, and they're like, all right, there's blueprints, and it's this building in Seattle, the International Plaza, where the president was going to be. Let's go.
Yep.
Which is like everyone was saying, like the president's going to be in Seattle at the International Plaza. That's probably going to be there.
Yep.
And that's exactly where we end up back at.
Yeah, as we see, the three main bad guys that we've seen thus far have all joined together, and they're basically going up the. They go into the building carrying briefcases, and they got like orange jumpsuits on. And the security guard's like, "Hey, who are you guys?" And they're like, "We are here to fix the air conditioning."
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's up there."
President's gonna be here later.
We're big fans of the movie The Incredibles.
Yeah. And I just love like this is an area where the president is going to be later.
Yeah,
but
this guy doing a crossword can't be bothered.
Nope.
Yeah, it's
he's probably doing the jumble.
Yep. It's Seattle in spring. Yes, please go fix the air conditioner.
Yeah, but so Crash and then they start getting set up on the roof, and they're about to they're setting the bomb up or whatever. And Crash and Byrnes were in and ask the guy like, "Hey, has anybody been here today?" He's like, "Nah, nobody." "Oh wait, yeah, those AC people." And they're like, "Where's your elevator?"
Yep.
And so they get up there, and Crash gets to confront her, and she's like. Doesn't she imply that Becky was the one who was the plant just to throw them off?
Maybe. I think she just taunts him about
No, she's just like, oh, see, you're still alive. It's been, what, 5 years? I guess Kelly, was it the bad guy's name? Something like that?
Kelly was the mole at the
mole,
CIA.
right, the smarmy guy. It was like...
Oh,
yeah,
because
she
so
just straight
Kelly, I was thinking she was talking...
she just straight up goes like, I guess Kelly, like, told you, oh, yeah, you didn't know? Kelly works for me. All this stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's why partner died, blah, blah, blah. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, he really just like, come kill me now.
Yep. So he does.
Well, Byrnes is like, I got this, you go deal with her. And they fight sort of for a little bit.
Well, yeah, what happens is he basically chucks her into a wall and she falls down. And then he runs over to the bomb. And for some reason, he had a dog tag that had the
disarm code
on it. Why, I don't know, but they had a whole thing earlier where Byrnes had come up with a mnemonic to, remember the code, and Crash had said it was stupid and blah blah blah. So we know where this is going to go. That he gets the code put in almost, but then she attacks him as he's doing it, and they fight.
The dog tag.
Yeah, she grabs the dog tag, puts it around her neck, and he ends up chucking her off the side of the building after they fight for a little bit. Meanwhile,
not like in a cool way, just more like we're fighting it, and she like goes trip. Oh, I'm on the edge, and and it's like prolonged. It's like I'm gonna fall. Oh, I fell.
Yeah, she kind of like rolls off. It was like, it's like falling out of bed.
Yeah.
She just like, the covers are, shit.
I was putting on my sock and
Yeah, I mean that's how she falls. And then they cut to like this dummy falling in fake digitized smeared slow motion.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Byrnes does this stupid like face-off like showdown thing with the Victor guy that he's had the murder boner for the whole movie. And he just puts he doesn't like holster his gun, but he puts his gun down his side. He's like, "Oh, this is just like the old West movie, just like a showdown at high noon, right?"
And Victor's like, "Whatever."
And he's like, I'm going to try to shoot you," and then it's just blurry slow mo that he's just faster at drawing and shoots the dude. And I don't even know. It's not a one liner. It's not cathartic. It's just like he's just like, I shot you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically like that level
Yep.
of like, I shot you.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a nothing fucking line.
Yeah, but then he runs up, and of course the counter is still going, and he's like, "Okay, but what's the code?" And he goes, "Oh well, she had it, and she's down at the bottom of the building now."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't you remember the mnemonic device?
Yeah. And as he's reciting it, Crash keeps like saying, "No, it was this. It was something else." And it's like, you weren't the one that remembered it, motherfucker. But yeah, so of course they put the code in just as it ticks down to 0 and it shuts off. And then they call in. They're like, "We did it! Don't kill the president." So of course Wheeler calls Kelly, the shady mission commander guy.
Yeah.
And he's like sinisterly, slowly turns off the his walkie-talkie.
He even fucking does it like what's his face in Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
I mean, he even like is like, you know, he was just like, I'm gonna fucking switch this radio off, just like Klaus or whatever the hell his name is.
Yep.
Yep.
I just noticed that. I was like, oh, fuck you, guy.
Yeah. Yep. So they're like, "Oh my God, he's not responding." So they Crash and Byrnes. They get there, and the president has like the lamest motorcade and the lamest security.
It's the worst. 2 motorcycles, the limo, and maybe a police cruiser.
Yep.
And no crowd. 0 crowd.
Oh, there's nobody.
Like, this is Seattle, 9 a.m., and there's fucking nobody anywhere.
Yep.
And so this motorcade comes to a stop, and the quote-unquote president gets out of the limo, and just immediately from the other side of the limo, where there's literally nobody, no Secret Service or anything, Crash and Byrnes just leap over the trunk.
They're able to jump and tackle the president.
Yep. And no one does shit.
Just as the shot is fired and lands right next to him on the ground where he would have been.
Right.
And then I love that all the Secret Service aim their guns at the up in the sky and not at the 2 men who have just literally tackled the president.
Right.
Except it's not even the president.
Right.
Yes.
It's a body
Because
double.
they're like, wait, this dude doesn't look like the president. And then just cut to Wheeler walking out with an old dude.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
like,
it's Shannon who's walking out. And
That's
he's
right.
like, "Oh, Mr. President, we've got this taken care of." And he's like, "And I take it my double is still intact or something."
yeah,
You know,
it's like, oh, well, you know.
It's also fucking stupid because it's like, it explains as like, you know, would you sacrifice somebody, you know, save millions of people? He's like, what if that someone was a friend?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so you have a friend who's just happens to look a lot like the president of the United States and is willing to take a bullet to save a bunch of like, what the
a
fuck
man
is
literally
going on?
willing to die.
Like, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yes, several.
Yeah. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
President. But that's when Kelly, shady guy's like, "Uh-oh," and runs. He literally runs by the president's motorcade and grabs a car and takes off.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, we got to catch him." And they start chasing him down.
In terrible slow-mo bullshit.
Oh, It's
like,
And then
this might be the worst out of everything.
Oh, it really is. And then he goes, "You were wondering why I have the nickname Crash, right? Well, you're about to find out." And it's like, motherfucker was just swerving all over the road anyway.
Yeah.
Like, even before there was any reason to. And it's like, I'm thinking they call you that because you're a really shitty driver. Like, based on what I'm seeing.
were you doing drills and no one knew? There were no cones on the ground. You're just swerving all over the place.
But, yeah, they chase this guy down the road a little bit and, like, force him into one of those, like, oh, no, it's a construction zone with the hidden ramp. And car flips over and Crash gets out of the car angrily, like, with gun at the side, like, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm going to go finish this, and Burns runs up. He's like, it's going to explode, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Oy.
Oh, none of this is, like, as remotely dramatic or cool as
Yeah,
as I'm doing it right now. And he's just, like, kind of sort of pulls him back, and
They start walking back to the car.
they
as it
so
blows
gingerly, like, bend over the car
Yeah.
as this thing explodes.
Ish.
I mean, they just, like... They look like someone just said, "Hey, assume the position." They're like, "Okay." Just lay
Don't
on
worry,
the
this
hood
will
here.
all be in weird slow-mo. They won't notice that you can't do it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they fucking argue about whether he knew it was going to explode or not. He's just like, I knew it was going to blow up. He's like, no, you didn't. You were walking right towards it.
Yeah.
And they just bicker about that as the credits just interrupt the movie and just scoot on by like, we know you don't want to be here any longer.
Yeah. They were right.
Get the fuck out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No Stargrove, definitely not.
Nope.
No Ensign Award, nothing. Nothing.
Nope.
Nope.
Gets a loose cannon because they said loose cannon.
Yeah, but that on a technicality. The technicality being they actually said loose cannon, but
Right.
God, they don't even sell it. It's fuck it.
I know.
Fuck this movie. 4 bags. Like honestly, like nothing is executed the way it should be.
No.
And it's kind of and the biggest reaction we got in the entire movie is second unit director Brian Trenchard Smith. We're like, wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
It
wait.
actively made us angry and
Yeah.
questioned everything.
Because there was a point in the movie where I while we're watching, where I said, why is the second unit stuff the worst stuff in the movie?
Yep.
And then it turns out the person who should be the best person making this is terrible. I don't know who the fuck decided, let's just make all the action, all of it,
Yep.
crap slow motion.
Yep.
But on top of that, I fucking hate both of these guys. Like, I really do. Like Crash comes off as just a complete stick in the mud, and Byrnes is just like, oi, I'm an asshole. Doesn't matter.
Arsehole, I think.
Yeah, yes. I just, fuck them both. Fuck this movie. 4 bags.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. 4 bags also. It sucks. I mean, it's you would think you could at least say, well, it's got some action in it, but you can't fucking see any of it.
Nope.
You have no idea what's happening in any of it. So what's the point? I mean, their banter isn't any good. The jokes are literally placeholder dialogue. It's the plot is pure nonsense. They get recruited to some super duper special league of cops that never comes into play at all. It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, like, it had to be TV pilot things.
Yes.
But bad. Just like,
Yeah. Like,
I
there's
could
no
not imagine ever watching this show.
Yeah, there's no potential in this whatsoever. Like, and it's why it didn't get made, because you look at this and you go, that's your big guns, huh? For your pilot? Ugh, no. So yeah, it's bad.
Yep.
It is a bad movie. Bad movie.
As in, stay away.
Stay away.
Yeah, I was thinking this was a 3 bags movie, but the more we talk about it, I'm now more angry that the phrase "loose cannon" was uttered in this movie. That I'm going to join you in that 4 bags range.
Yeah.
Because like this is the kind of movie that you just don't. This is not the movie to put something like that in. Like that is a thing you and done completely wrong. It's not a thing a partner says about somebody. You know, it's a thing the chief says. Like,
Yeah.
A partner doesn't say that. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Everything's wrong about this movie. Just not quite everything, because it's not a 5 bag movie, but its only saving grace is that it's at least in the action genre. Like, I mean, I could say like this would be a 5 bag movie were it not for like, well, at least it's sort of like a thing that we normally would like.
Yeah, things technically happen in it.
Right.
We just can't see them.
I'm just like, I mean, it's not Food Fight. It's not utterly broken. It's not Forbidden Zone where it's like,
Yeah.
At least it's.
We're all going to forget about this.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's why it's 4.
Yeah.
5s are ones like Theodore Rex and Food Fight, where it's like, I think back on them and I get actively angry.
Yeah,
Right.
Ford Fairlane.
At some point, we're going to be like, man, remember that movie Crash and Byrnes? And I'm going to be like,
No.
kind of. Wasn't that the smeary slow motion one?
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to remember anything about it otherwise.
Yeah. But so, yeah, 4 is fair. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's take a break, shall we?
Let's.
Good job. What a bummer that our next to last episode was so bad.
I know. Well, we'll go out on a good note.
Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced of that for episode 400.
Yeah.
So who's got things?
I have things.
Do you?
I watched Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. I can make that real quick. So there's a minute of content.
What things do you have?
I got like 5 things, but they're all pretty short.
Okay.
And then we can talk about our topic.
All right, I got one thing before that.
Oh, you got one thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was this movie called? Oh, yeah, Crash and Byrnes.
I still can't get over that Jen saw the commercial for Justice League. She's like, "Are we going to see that?" I'm like, "Why do you care?" Is it because Wonder Woman's in it? And Thor Ragnarok. She's just like, "Huh, all right. I suppose you're going to want to see that one, huh?" And I'm like, "Yes. 1,000% yes. I
mean, what's funny is like it dawned on me. Oh, I just realized that there's a joke there. But someone asked if I was going to go see Justice League, and then like I was like, I mean, my first reaction was like, no, and I was like, but I have Movie Pass, so I probably will.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, actually, I probably will, but begrudgingly at this point.
Yeah. If we can find Blade Runner 2049, we might see it this weekend, but it may be gone already.
I don't think so.
I think just because enough people have told her, like, if you're going to see a movie on a big screen, Blade Runner 2049 is a good one to do that with. But it's probably not even going to be in the big, loud theater. It's going to be
It'll be in the little tiny closet.
Yeah.
That's going to be I don't know. It's going to be an odd movie to share with somebody.
I know.
Of the opposite sex.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, it's a little creepy.
We watched
and weird.
Westworld. We're used to robot fucking.
Yeah, they take it to a level. There's another level on this one.
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway.
Hashtag
weird boner.
And now I'm intrigued.
I just like that. It's always hashtag weird boner is funny.
It is.
Never not funny. Like our confarty GIF. Yeah, I just said GIF. Motherfuck me. GIF.
Yeah. Weird boner.
Way to give. I can't get over that Trump is insistent that this new bill be called the Cut, Cut, Cut Act. I can't get over it. We live on the dumbest version of Earth.
Yep.
There are like 1 million infinite Earths, and we somehow landed on the literal dumbest one.
Yeah, we're on like Earth 420.
I don't know what knocked us out of our normal universe into this fucking nightmare hellscape, but
the Cut, Cut, Cut Act.
Oh,
he's like,
it cut 3 times more cuts than anyone. It's the best cuts. Fucking idiot.
I would put a bill forth immediately and call it the Cut, 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 Cut.
Yeah.
Cut Act.
Yeah. Just every president from now on is just going to have to add one cut to it to make it sound bigger. Fucking nightmare. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies.
There's going to come out one called the Goose Act.
Oh, I get it.
Cut, goose.
Then we all chase the president around.
No, that's where we all hit our heads on one windows and die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they ultimately want.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. All right, should we do this? I might as well get into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo! Woo!
Here comes a half for you, folks.
Woo! Ow! How are things going in the World Series of Baseball?
Oh, I should check that.
Have they won any baseballs yet? How many touchdowns are there?
Hey, hang on. It's Houston's up 5-0 in the middle of the 5th.
Ooh, the field goal.
What is the baseball? Oh, it took me right to it. 5-0.
What is the baseball?
Thanks, Google.
Did you really type in what is the baseball?
I typed what is the baseball, and it took me right to the score.
Okay, Google, what is the baseball?
The baseball is 5-2-0.
Hey Siri, what is the baseball?
Baseball is a bat-and-ball game played between 2 teams of 9 players each.
Okay, shut up. Stop talking.
Yeah, quit speaking English.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Oh yeah, I guess we should discuss who's got newest things. That's how we usually do it.
I have 2 2017 things, and then my other 4 are short, condensed, older things.
Okay.
Squishy things.
Mine is a 2015 movie.
Ooh. Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
And then you can go.
All right.
And then Mackie can go.
Yeah, mine will be quick.
I yield the floor to
And
you,
then
sir.
I'll go again.
Okay, sir.
And then we'll have a discussion.
All right.
Good.
All right, and welcome back.
Hey, it's the BMFcast. One more episode to go.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what do we do now?
We talk about movies, more other movies,
Oh.
and things.
Like not the movie we watched?
Sometimes good movies.
Right, as in go to them. Go to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple of new movies to talk about.
Oh, I'd like to hear about them.
Okay. They will be brief, but I will still talk about them
Briefs.
as much as I can.
Okay.
First is yet another documentary. I watched, there's a documentary about the Dana Carvey show on Hulu called Too Funny to Fail.
Ooh. Yeah, I've been very curious about this.
It is a full-length documentary. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, and they talk to most of the principal people involved with the Dana Carvey show.
Who do they not get?
Louis C.K. is not there. He's too busy. Charlie Kaufman is not there because he's too weird. Just a couple of people like that.
Yeah.
But pretty much everybody else, I mean, they've
like
got
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell and
Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert is there. Dana Carvey is there. They've got like the show director. They've got ABC executives. They've got lots of people. And other people who were around at that time watching it. Stuff like that. So it's a really funny look at the ups and downs of that show and just what they went through getting it prepped and then how it all went wrong in the first 2 minutes of the first show and they never recovered after that. They just got up their own ass about this, what sketch they were going to use to start the show.
Yeah.
And it was the
They
sketch
picked the wrong one.
where Bill Clinton was nursing babies and puppies because he suddenly had grown lots of nipples and was producing milk so he could be the the nurturing president. And man, people fucking hated that. Just people watching the show were like, "Oh God, no!" And they just never recovered after that. But the head writers, Robert Smigel and Louis C.K., were like defiant, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna keep pushing the button. We're gonna keep pushing the envelope. We're gonna keep doing this crazy shit." And everyone was just, it killed the show. It just immediately killed the show.
Yeah.
So, but
Ahead of its time.
yeah, you could say that. There are so many great things in that show. It only ran for 8 episodes, but there are so many great sketches in that show.
Yeah, somebody was saying something about there's a point where they watch like the promo for the show that's coming before them. Like I think it was Home Improvement or something.
I have never laughed that hard at so they had mentioned early in the documentary that they were given the time slot after Home Improvement, and they all were like, "Yay, that's great! That's the #1 show. It'll be great." None of them had ever watched Home Improvement, and so they had no idea what the show was.
Yeah.
And so about halfway through their run, they watched it and were like, "Oh, we're paired with the wrong show."
Yeah.
And that's when they showed this promo of like a very special episode of Home Improvement where like Jonathan Taylor Thomas was dying or some shit. And then they have that whole promo, and then at the end they say, and followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer Dana Carvey show. Like serious announcer man saying this dumb title, and they show it to all the people who had never seen it before. So like Steve Carell and Steve Colbert, and they just fucking lose it. They are just dying laughing it, and they're like, "Well, that explains it right there." So, yeah, it's a really good documentary. It's a Hulu produced documentary.
Do they also have the actual show on Hulu now or somewhere?
I didn't check
Because I've never actually seen any of it.
I have it on disc,
okay.
but they should. I mean, if they're producing this documentary, they really probably should have secured the rights to it because people would say, "I'd watch that." But yeah, the documentary itself is great, so watch that. Cool. The other thing I watched from this year, I watched The Dark Tower.
Hey, I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything about The Dark Tower at this point. It's one of those movies where it's like movies like Dylan Dog and stuff like that, where it's just like, that's a 90-minute noisemaker. Things happen in that, I guess.
Dylan Dog?
Yeah, Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. It was almost a BMFcast episode multiple times.
Yeah,
It's Brandon Roof.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I vaguely remember that.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, what is this? No one had any confidence in it. It's only 90 minutes. It's not good at all, and edited all to fuck, and then it's over.
Yeah.
That very clearly that was a rights issue. We got to maintain the rights to The Dark Tower. That's the only explanation. Because what they made was crap. I mean, and
yeah, it's not great.
And I think by the third blatant, like, here's a Stephen King reference. Do you get it? I'm like, man, fuck off, movie. Really, fuck off. Here's a kid playing with the car from Christine. Look, he's pushing it around the room. It's like, okay, I get it. Fuck off. So, yeah, The Dark Tower is garbage. But
I'm still probably going to watch it one of these days for some
totally
reason.
should.
It's just it's excessively generic.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing distinguishing about it. I mean, and for a movie with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey in the McConaissance, like
Yeah.
it's bland. There's just nothing that either of them's doing that's really anything special.
I mean, I laughed 2 or 3 times at McConaughey doing his weird Elvising. He's doing weird flourishes with his hands on occasion, but I so didn't care.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that needed somebody with more visual flair or like some kind of angle to take on it, but there just isn't.
yeah, it's baffling. I can't. I don't understand. But whatever, they made it, so I guess they get to hang on to them rights for a little while.
Yep.
So
Great.
anyway, Arlo, you got things?
I do. So I had grand plans for Halloween-esque movies to watch around then. None of them really happened because video games.
Sure.
I blame them. So I really only watched one, and it wasn't even on Halloween night. I watched it the night before. I had never seen Tales of Halloween, which came up when we were talking about Don't Kill It, because Mike Mendez has one of the segments in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there is a lot to digest in this here movie because it's like a 90-minute movie or so.
It's 10 segments, right?
Yeah, and it's 10 segments.
Those are quick segments.
Yeah. So, everything basically plays almost like a little horror vignette in a lot of times where it's just like, some of them are just like, just things are happening and we're jumping in. Something about this movie, it is a super meta, maybe not meta, it's super inside baseball horror movie thing, where there are just references and cameos galore, that if you're, not deep in the pages of Fangoria, you're not gonna get half of them. And I caught some, I didn't catch them all. Just people that show up and are like, wow, how'd you get this person? And there was other strange cameos. It was just like, why'd you get this person? Kind of ones. Because the whole glue that's sort of holding this movie together is Adrienne Barbeau is a radio DJ on Halloween talking, but it's the loosest thread. It's almost like not needed. And I'm also trying to figure out why her. I know she was in Swamp Thing, but she
was a DJ in The Fog.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought she might be in The Fog too, but when you think horror people, I don't think Adrienne Barbeau so much. It's just not to me. It's a strange get. There's lots of other people. It's we're horror genre people. That you could get. Maybe they wouldn't be as well known, or I don't know. It's just it seems like a strange thing to go for. I'm guessing is what I'm saying. I think overall, I don't love the glue that's holding this movie together, but I love segments a lot. Mike Mendez's segment is really kind of awesome. It's not perfect. There's something about what I've seen of his stuff so far. It's man, you're just missing that thing, the one thing that is just going to set you above and beyond, to make you the next Sam Raimi, kind of guy, given bigger projects or whatever. But,
right.
But yeah, there's some really good stuff in it. There's some super tonal shifts between one and the other. That's Trick or Treat is kind of like that, where it's oh wow, this just got real crazy and jokey. And this one, especially, there is one, and I think it's the second or third segment. So you're just kind of settling in, why, what are we doing with this? And it gets fucking wacky as shit, including Barry Bostwick basically playing the devil.
Oh,
and yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, that segment is kind of fucking awesome because Barry Bostwick is just gleefully asshole-ish. It's kind of amazing.
All right.
Yeah, and I don't really want to spoil too many of the other ones. It's just one of those things. I feel like there is room for horror anthology to make a big comeback because we're dealing with short attention span nation at this point. I just feel 10 is too much. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like there are several things where it's like 10. We're going to make anthologies of 10 things. And it's like, in a 90-minute movie? Like, that's...
Yeah, that's really cranking.
I mean,
out.
I think the Creepshow model of 3 is too little, but this is too many.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking 6 or 7 is the sweet spot. But, yeah, it's just... I don't know. Like, there's lots of things to like. There's some problems, I think, with the glue holding it all together. Like, I feel like the person whose ultimate, like, final cut thing it was between all these directors maybe failed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because there's something about the overall thing that I didn't love, but, like, there's DNA in it that I absolutely do love. And I still recommend, like, checking it out if you're... I mean, it's super gory at times and, you know, whatnot, so it's... not like old school horror anthology. It's like, yeah, no, you can show your 13-year-old. Like, they'll like this. I mean, it's not completely chock full of swearing, but there's a lot of swearing, a lot of gore, and I don't think there was any nudity or anything. But you know, just throwing that out there. Like, for I don't know why I'm all of a sudden doing a parent's guide thing on something, but you know, like, just
I love that that's always the first thing in the frequently asked questions on IMDb. Like, that's on the template. It's like, how much sex and nudity is in this movie?
well, I mean, yeah, parent's guide is a thing that's on the IMDb.
Yeah.
know? And it's almost always funny how they're fucking filled out too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's 3 F words, and it's like, fuck off, just say
Yeah.
fuck. You're goddamn adults. We're parents here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a parent, but you know, I know of. But I mean, like, just you can say fuck. It's okay.
Can please say fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I still recommend checking it out, and it's on Netflix. I know it's post Halloween and you know, all that, but you know you can still watch horror movies whenever.
Horror movies aren't just for October month.
Right. Well, except this one's specifically called Tales of Halloween. But
Well,
hurry up and watch it today for Dia de los Muertos or something.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not today. It's like the second or third. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah.
it's like All Saints Day. It's different.
true.
Anyway,
Mackie?
yeah, check it out.
What'd you watch?
Oh, I watched Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 because it was
Oh.
Halloween.
Right.
I didn't get to Army of Darkness, but sorry. It's my least favorite anyway, so, you know, whatever. I love the original Evil Dead, but man, Evil Dead 2 is such a profound step up in, like, every possible way you can make a film.
Mm-hmm.
It's better. Like, literally everything about it is better. The only thing it doesn't have is the atmosphere of the first one, because the atmosphere of the first one almost does feel like you're watching a thing you shouldn't be. You know, there's a very weird lo-fi creepiness to it that works. You know, which is like why found footage movies tend to work.
I mean, it's been a while, but I mean, the first movie is just pretty much a no tip of the hat, like straight up horror movie, right? I mean, like
There are very, very few things like when Ash is trying to get Scott, who's just, God, every time I watch that movie, I'm like, God, Scott is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's the worst piece of shit. But when he's like trying to tell him, he's like, all right, well, Dawn's almost here. We're gonna be fine, and then Dawn's gonna be here, and we're all gonna hop in the car, and we're gonna get out of here, and we're all like you and me and Shelly and well, maybe not Shelly because they just chopped her up with an axe. You know, there's like very thinly veiled stuff. You know.
yeah, but I mean, it never goes cartoonish. Like
Oh God, no.
even yeah, I'm just saying, like it's more or less a straight up horror movie.
And some of the stop motion stuff, like when the bodies are decaying at the end and they have like the hands popping out of them, and like there's all this stop motion, like weird decay stuff. That stuff's really like there's something unnerving about how all of that happens.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how they did half of it. You know, with stuff like blooming out of the whatever the hell's happening to these people. Yeah, it's fucked up. But then, I mean, just the second one, the pace, the editing, you know, the acting, everything about it is way better. And yeah, I love those movies, but man, Evil Dead 2 is something else.
It is.
It's freaking all timer.
It is. It absolutely is.
And it's interesting to see how much better Bruce Campbell got between, you know, in those, whatever that was, 7 years between that movie and the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Evil Dead 2. I watch it every Halloween.
But yeah.
Yeah. And Army of Darkness, it's all right, but to me it's not the same thing.
the memory of Army of Darkness is always better than
watching
it again. Yeah. It's just some of those lines are just because they became so.
Yeah.
It's the Austin Powers principle.
I was going to say I didn't want to make the Austin Powers thing because I respect the hell out of Army of Darkness a hell of a lot more than Austin Powers, but it's that same level of just like that dialogue is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's on fucking lunchboxes and shit, you know. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and I almost started watching Ash vs. Evil Dead, the series again, and I can't remember how did they set that? Is it supposed to have been like after the theatrical ending of Army of Darkness?
yes.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they reference that the other ending. It's weird. They actually handle the both endings thing in the show. I don't remember how, but I do know that it was brought up. You know, the possibility of either one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I just to counter your point, I would say that that's almost the exact parallel comparison. I think the difference being everyone saw Austin Powers, whereas Army of Darkness is still a niche thing. You know, if Army of Darkness was as popular as Austin Powers, you'd probably be more sick of it because I think ultimately Austin Powers is still more watchable despite the quotability than Army of Darkness is with its, you know, I feel like its quotability has hurt it to the point. Like it wasn't stupid strong before. It was just like, it was compared to Evil Dead 2, I'm saying.
I always think of Army of Darkness like if I was watching this and someone who didn't know me walked into the room who was unfamiliar with this and saw just a bunch of Three Stooges shenanigans happening in this movie and would be like, the fuck are you watching? I would be like, yeah, I know. Sorry. But that's why I've never really gone back and watched Army of Darkness because the memory of it is
I just love that you like when I rewatched it last year when I think it was that they put the new Blu-rays out and I was like, man, Universal 92, like that's how you know you're a film dork, like a movie fucking dork is you're like
you can tell the film stock.
Yeah, I'm like, man. Well, I knew it was a Universal movie because I'm like, yeah, this looks like 91, 92 ass.
Yeah.
Universal Studios movie, and yeah, any movie from that era has that certain sheen or whatever you want to call it of like, yep, they shot it on this stock because that's like what Universal's like, here, shoot it on this. This is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like other nerdy thing is like that's one of the better eras of Universal logos too.
Yes.
That and the 75th anniversary one was fucking epic too.
Yes.
Just because like they went around the earth longer and built the themes. Whatever. That's so dumb. Anywho.
Yeah.
Anywho.
You have more movies?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Real quick.
All right.
Yeah, so last week I talked about that Spielberg documentary and wanting to go back and watch some Spielberg. I went back and watched some Spielberg.
Did you?
I had some time. It wasn't going to be a marathon when I started, but I was just like, I'm going to watch War of the Worlds again. I'm going to see what that's all about, if it's how I remember it being. War of the Worlds is fucking great.
Good.
It is.
That's good to hear.
It is legit amazing for most of that movie. I would say the last 15 minutes are so rushed. It's like, wait, what movie is this? Like it just loses its way somehow. But the situations in that movie constantly produce this holy shit like reaction. Like Spielberg is making this? This is fucking dark as shit. It is so dark. Like I was saying last week, I think that movie gets run down a bit because of all the things that made fun of it after it came out. That movie is fucking great. The thing that hurts that movie the most is the effects are bad. Like the effects do not hold up at all.
Really?
Yes. Some of them do. Like the faraway shots of the tripod walkers and stuff like that look pretty good. But it's like there's a scene where they're just at like a train crossing and all of a sudden this just speeding locomotive goes by on fire like through the middle of a town. And it's just like, oh, wow, that looks so bad. So it's really a shame. And what I started to notice is that Spielberg and his cinematographer would bleach the film to give it like this total desaturated, shiny look, which looked cool in the early 2000s. It looks like fucking garbage now.
Yeah.
You look at it and go, man, I wish that wasn't a thing because this movie would look great not looking like that. Because after that, I went back and watched Minority Report, which is done the same way. It's bleached and all the colors sucked out of it. Minority Report does not hold up as well as War of the Worlds does, and I think that's hampered because of it's based on a novel, and so it kind of fits this narrative that you're familiar with. Like, it's ultimately a murder mystery, and you know where it's going to go. So I think it's kind of hampered by that, the storytelling, but it's still got some awesome stuff in that.
Yeah, that surprised me because I figured Minority Report would have held up better than War of the Worlds would.
No, War of the Worlds is 10 times better. Minority Report is cool conceptually, but they spend so much time talking down to you because they have so much to explain about this universe that it becomes like a full-length, Jurassic Park ride, DNA talking to you kind of thing. It's just there's so much just explaining everything, and it's like, okay.
I think what's funny is I could not tell you the end of that movie because I had to go to the bathroom so bad in the theater, and that movie just would not fucking end.
Yeah.
That all I could think about is like, banging my knee up and down, trying to sit still just long enough to make it through the end. And then I seem to remember I was like, oh, it's over here. And they're like, nope, we got to go here now. And I was like, oh, fuck. Why are you doing this to me, movie? And so, yeah, I honestly don't think I remember the ending of that movie.
Yeah.
And all I remember is going, man, AI did this shit too, where the movie ended. And then it's like, fourth act.
Let me talk about my next movie.
AI?
Ah. Which is super bright and colorful and awesome looking.
Yep.
But also really fucking dark.
Yep.
Like, holy shit. And the thing I love most about this movie, I really like AI a lot. The thing I love most about it is that John Williams' score is this weird mix of whimsical and creepy as shit. So, like, it never tells you exactly how you're supposed to feel about a scene. Like, you could look at a scene one way and be like, oh, that's cute. Or you could go, dear God, that's frightening as shit. It could go either way. The thing that hurts AI is that the fourth act comes on and it keeps going and going and going. And you're like, this is like me when I'm on the podcast and no one will stop me from talking. And I just keep talking because I'm waiting for someone to jump in.
Yeah.
That movie just keeps going. And I'm like, the fuck is happening? Wrap this up. Like, your movie's done. What are you doing? Oh, now these are here. What is this? What? Ben Kingsley, space alien, shows up, and you're just like, the fuck are you talking about? End this. This movie is over.
Yeah, Harlow and I have had this discussion multiple times.
I love the ending.
Yeah.
I do.
And
conceptually, I like it. It's just like, it just keeps going. And I'm like, as dark as it would have been for that movie to end with him frozen to death at the bottom of the New York staring at the angel, I'm like, that's great. Fade to black. This is over. Good job. And then this 20 minutes of future shit starts happening, and you're like,
I almost feel like if it had been the movie Kubrick had started making, it would have ended at the Blue Fairy. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that happens after is
the trivia
100%
says,
Spielberg.
The trivia says that's not true. His initial treatment had all that stuff in it.
Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks that the Kubrick version would have been stopped there, but then I also feel like the ending is sort of like not an apology, but like here's an alternate look at how 2001 could have ended. Where instead of like
where someone actually explained what happened.
Like what the fuck is the space baby?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like it's kind of like like we tried ambiguity. Let me just fucking spell it out for you, or sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand that it's like it's not aliens. It's fucking AI took over. Like it is future AI, and there are no more humans, and he's the only thing that has any link. I mean, you probably know because you just saw it, but most people didn't catch that at the time. That like he's the only thing that actually had actual contact with humans, and they're fucking fascinated by him.
Yeah.
So,
well, they straight up say
spoilers
that.
And all that.
No, they straight up say that to him because one of them is like, "Let's just shut it down," and they're like, "No, it's the only thing we have that's ever come in contact with a physical human being. We have to,
Yeah, and I think I think the problem is that it's two different movies, and
It's
the new movie starts at that point.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, that is all the majority of the emotional impact is there. I mean, there's the stuff early on when when the mom's just like, we got to get rid of you, and he's like, but you're my mom. That shit's really fucked up. Which, of course, that's more Spielberg parental abandonment issue stuff.
Which is in all of these things.
Yep. But there's something about like that whole perfect day with the mom at the end that's just like more heart-wrenching than the mom tossing him in the trash.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's the problem is like you've got so much sentimentality that's going on in that last half hour of that movie that you're either on board for that or you're not. And that movie, like, it doesn't keep a consistent tone throughout the entire movie. And like you said, it's like 3 different movies.
It really is. I mean, tonally, it is just, it's weird, awkward creepiness, then, you know, robot sex party, and Brendan Gleeson murder robot show.
Yeah, I forgot he's in that.
And, yeah, then all the William Hurt
AI
stuff. And,
I almost wonder what would happen with that movie if they decided to make it right now. Like if it didn't exist in 2001 and it had just been floating around and somebody said, all right, and he said, we're making AI, 2018 it's coming out. Would it be 3 movies?
Yeah.
Would it be multiple movies? What would they do with it? And I also kind of wonder what he would do differently now. Because I think in 2001 when that came out, there was also the whole, like, that was kind of the height of, man, Spielberg makes good movies, but he just gets too fucking sentimental at the end of them. Because and I think that's why it suffered too.
Yeah. And I get that. And I almost was thinking, what if they took that last 20 minutes and made it kind of like you got chunks of it over the course of the film? You weren't quite sure what you were looking at, but then by the end, you got like the last few minutes of it, and then it all made sense.
Yeah.
Like, is he dreaming?
Like treated like a flashback. Or
yeah,
something
just like where is this? Where are these images coming from? What is this that we're looking at? It just seems like that movie was ready to wrap up, and then it just had 20 more minutes to go, and you're like, come on. Like, I don't mind the idea of where it goes. It's just like, we're done here. Let's finish. Let's end it. So, weird thing about these movies, though. So I watched them in the wrong order. I watched them backwards, chronologically. The effects in AI are the ones that hold up the most. Somehow, I don't know what that is, but the effects in AI are fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, I don't think Spielberg ever truly lost his Hollywood cachet or whatever.
No.
You know, but I feel like AI was a thing where it wasn't as popular, it didn't make all the money, and so I do feel like they maybe scaled down his budgets a little bit for a little while.
It's possible.
I mean, obviously he's Steven Spielberg, and he could have just made a call and gotten more money, but
Yeah.
I feel like that was like, all right, time to scale back, and
That's totally
yeah,
believable. And then I'd never seen Catch Me If You Can, so I watched that. That movie's fine. There's really nothing to it. I mean, if you think White Collar Crime is infinitely entertaining, it's a raucous good time. For me, I was just like, fuck that guy. Shoot him in the face, Tom Hanks. Run him down and shoot him in the face. So, it's a movie. It's fine. It's well acted.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's...
I think it's better than that, but yeah. I mean,
I don't dislike it. I just, nothing about it was supremely interesting to me. It's one of those movies. There's that late era Spielberg list of like A movie, B movie. Like, he goes off and makes a B movie while they're working on the effects of the other movie he made, and it's just build me some sets and I'll just come in and direct the actors, and all that shit is great. Like the acting, little touches, flourishes everybody does, those things are great. But it's just like this movie, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's better than The Terminal, I bet.
I haven't seen that.
I have.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything that happens in The Terminal. Not a single fucking thing.
Okay.
Tom Hanks gets stuck in an airport.
Sure.
He's like Bauke. He's from a
I
foreign
will-
land.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah,
I was gonna watch The Terminal, but it's nowhere.
I'm from Hankistan.
Hankistan. So that's all I got.
We got any other movies?
We do not.
So, should we have a discussion? We haven't had a topic in a while.
We haven't really.
And
Not one we've brought to the table ourselves.
yeah, recent events in Hollywood
Yeah.
have made things weird. In that, obviously, people are doing shitty stuff. It's been happening for a very long time. And it's kind of affecting the way that we think about the movies we watch. And it mainly came up because of Baby Driver.
Yes.
And I remember I wrote to a friend, like, on Monday. I was like, I am so pissed that Kevin Spacey was in Baby Driver. Because now, whenever I watch Baby Driver, I have to go, oh, yeah, that guy's a fucking creepazoid pedophile, which I did not know that before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all just having trouble coming to terms with so much of what's happened in the past few years, and not necessarily what's happened, but how it's been revealed and forced us to look at stuff differently.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we're not really saying like, oh man, we wish we could bury our heads back in the sand and not know. What the fuck is wrong with my goddamn internet?
Google censoring our hot topic.
Clearly. It seems to be live now.
Yeah, I know. It totally dropped. It was like dropping frames and then it just went all the way offline. So
It's back on now, though.
yeah,
right?
it's back on.
Okay. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything, guys. We stopped too.
But I mean, it's just, and I mean, the other thing I'm kind of wrestling with is like, I don't want this to sound like a, woe is us, the poor people that have to try to enjoy entertainment when there's actual crimes or that have been committed here. This is not like, oh well, this is not a Me Too or thoughts and prayers or like I'm important as well kind of situation. This is like just as I mean, it also came down to like we've literally praised some of these people in recent weeks that are now on the shit lists.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, within the last few episodes of various things, and it's like motherfucker, like. When is it going to end, or like what's going to be left of the thing that we like or did like, or can we still like it? I don't understand. It's just it's all very confusing.
Yeah, well, it's tough to deal with. I mean, I think about the fact that it's somewhat related, but when the shooting happened, I was like, fuck, what's next week's movie? Is there somebody that has to gun down a bunch of bad guys? Like, are we going to have to deal with that?
I can't tell you how many times we've had to switch our movie because of some public event that has happened.
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah, I think like Harlow was saying, this is not... We're not saying like, oh, we as movie fans have to learn how to deal with the loss of things we like. That's not what this conversation, I think, is. It's more like, what's the right way to react to something that technically supported someone who, at the time of making it, was being a piece of shit in some horrible way? And it's like, over time, like, okay, so it's not like there was a huge library of O.J. Simpson movies to watch, but I felt okay watching the Naked Gun movies because O.J. Simpson gets the fuck beat out of him in all those movies to where he's a bloody pulp at the end of that. That to me was like, that's fine. I could watch that. I'm not letting the Naked Gun movies go because they're really great and he gets his ass beat in them. I did stop watching Mel Gibson movies when he went on his horrible rant. I was just like, well, fuck you. I'm not supporting your shit. Eventually, after 5-6 years, I did go back and watch some Mel Gibson movies.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, is it a perma ban? Is it like, do you stop supporting? I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. Like, do you? Obviously, you should probably stop seeing any future movies. I mean, hell, they should probably stop getting offered jobs in the future. I mean, just in any other situation, it's like Bob over in County killed a man. Well, why the fuck is Bob still here? Like why? Bob's still working here? He's not in jail? What the fuck is going on? Like, I mean, that should be the very least of it. And I mean, and also, like, I also want to stress, and believe me, like, this is the biggest fucking minefield. I want to stress that we live in America. We still have law. Like, an accusation is not proof. I'm not saying there's not any validity to it, but I also want to like caution against like just fucking dogpiling on somebody when you don't know. Now.
Oh, we are in a scorched earth mentality.
Yeah, I am saying that, like, the way that the wound has been opened, it seems to be that it's probably true. Like, I mean, just because of...
With so many of these people, it's the sheer number of
it's
people that have come
the
out
empowerment
and had the same story.
Yeah, it's the empowerment of it. It's like, I've been wanting to say this for years, and now I feel that I can.
Yeah, and it's people who don't need... It's not like... I mean, people who have been coming out and sharing their stories aren't people who necessarily... They're not unknowns who have been like, oh, well,
Yeah.
this person is clearly after money. I mean,
Yeah.
these are well-known
At this
actresses
point,
who
these are people with something to lose.
yeah,
Right.
they survived their ordeal and went on to have great careers and are now saying, you know what, I need to talk about this.
Yeah.
That there's no like, I'm going to get $100,000
Yeah.
for Harvey Weinstein. It's like, no, that's not what that is at all.
No. And that's not what I'm saying at
Yeah.
all. I'm
Yeah.
saying like, unfortunately, I mean it becomes a little bit of a witch hunt. I mean, it really does, and that's good when there are actual witches. You know,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, I mean, a witch hunt implies that you're going after a fake thing. I'm saying like when you're going, if there is such a thing as an actual witch, it's not a witch hunt. I mean, I don't know what the right word is, but
Yeah.
and that's good. You know.
Justice
clean
pursuits.
clean out house. You know, like, but I all I'm saying is like caution against like throwing everything out without validity. You know?
I mean, look, I have no reason to doubt the guy who started the Kevin Spacey stuff, because as soon as he did, a lot of people said, yeah, Kevin Spacey, I've heard stories about him for years. So I'm not doubting him at all.
No.
However, that is like the most example of scorched earth that has happened to someone yet. Like, we're ramping up this mentality of like, oh, someone said this about burn his entire filmography, and it's like, I'm thrilled that people feel comfortable now coming out and are saying what they're saying and getting the stories out there, but it because of social media and stuff like that, it seems like we're going from 0 to 100 on fucking lock them up forever.
Yeah, well, I mean,
immediately.
House of Cards is already canceled.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
first they were like, we're not going to make any more after the season, and then they're like, just shut it down, you know. And it's like, there are a lot of people working on this. Take a week, maybe figure out what you're going to do for that. And I am in no way defending the bad people. That's
Right,
not what
yeah.
I'm saying with that. I'm just saying, like, just slow down a little bit. Like, let's
Yeah.
in every way possible, let's let the law do what it needs to
Well,
do.
I mean,
Yeah, and just kill off Frank Underwood. Find
Yeah.
something else to do.
well, then, I mean,
Robin Wright, the president.
I think this. You're now skirting closer to what I was actually trying to say, and that is, I feel like we are starting to treat law and tragedy and a reason we need to have a reason for a tragedy within the time that an internet meme is usually relevant. And it's like, no, that's not how fucking law works. Like, you need to gather facts. It's just like, blurb, fuck, you still care? Shit. Oh, okay, that's the truth. You know, like, I mean, it's just like, you know, that's what I was getting at. Is like, we seem like we treat anything that is news is like, we need a reason by the time people stop caring. It's done.
yeah.
Yeah, and I guess my thing is that along with that has come this mentality that, like, you're basically accusing people who can still enjoy a Kevin Spacey movie, you know, or like I think about Cosby Show like 4 years ago. My wife and I were like, we should watch some Cosby Show. And I remember posting on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I'm like, man, why is Cosby Show not streaming anywhere? This is bullshit. I kind of want to watch some Cosby Show. And then like I found out Cosby Mysteries existed. I'm like, the fuck is this? I need to watch Cosby Mysteries. Where's this? You know, and now not obviously, but now I have no desire to watch any of that. Like, because knowing what I know, I can't make that difference. But somebody who does, I don't want to go, well, you're a piece of shit. Why would you watch that now?
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's a lot of that going around as well, where it's part of that scorched earth thing, where it's like, no, you can't watch any of that now, and it's like, I get it, you know, and I don't. I think it was on Discord. Lily posted about last week, watching about, I'm going to watch Jeepers Creepers, and I was like, I really don't want to tell you about this guy who made it, but then somebody else did, and kind of took that out of my hands anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but he was also like, I didn't want to be that guy, but
You should
you
know.
should probably know that this guy wasn't accused. He was convicted.
Yeah. Went to jail.
Yeah. Served time in jail, and then somehow got to make Jeepers Creepers 3 once he got out, so the fuck ever world.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Rose McGowan can't, you know, get hired to do anything because she fucking spoke out about people. You know, it's just, it's a very, you know, I have to make the corollary where Hollywood's been broken for a very long time, and it's coming out now. Much like the USA. The U.S. has not gotten over slavery, and the racism that came from that, and it was a country founded on that. And we're still trying to deal with that right now. And Hollywood feels like it's hitting the same exact thing right now, where it was built on this misogyny and casting couch shit. And
Yeah, but I
and
feel
it's like then this is the stuff that has to happen to kind of push that out.
I feel like Hollywood has never had to answer for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, they are finally having to answer for it now. Whereas I feel like as a country, there was a period of time within my lifetime where I don't want to say we got over slavery, but it seemed like we were of a consensus of, man, that was awful. We shouldn't have done that. And now all of a sudden there are people like, well, actually it was about vegetables. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking? Like, where are you coming from? You've lived on the same earth I have for 20 years. But Hollywood really has not had that. I mean, they've had exposés in like the gossip columns and stuff like that, but no one takes any of that shit seriously. And now all of a sudden we are taking it seriously because we didn't take it seriously when we were electing a president. And I think now people are like, maybe we should take this shit a little more seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I mean, to me, obviously the recent things have kind of exacerbated this, but I mean, to me, this is like a long-standing issue of like how do you come to terms with like separating the art from the artist? I mean, how do you? I mean, unfortunately, piece of shit human that he is, he's a fucking master filmmaker. How do you watch a Polanski film? Like how do you just never watch Chinatown or Rosemary's Baby or something? It's like how do you get by in understanding and appreciating film and not watch those or recognize what they did? It just
yeah, and it's I mean and you can also look at it in terms of horrible people have made beautiful things. There are people that have just done horrible things, and some of them, some people have atoned for them. I mean, for everything I said about the Jeepers Creepers guy, he served his time. Mm-hmm. He was released from prison.
Technically, he
so
did.
I can't. Who am I to say like no? He should be punished for the rest of his life. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I felt the same way about Michael Vick. Mm-hmm. He's a piece of shit, 100% piece of shit. But you know what? He served his time for what he did, and when he got out, he should have the same opportunity to be able to make a living that he did before. Obviously,
yeah.
It's with when you have that baggage, and that's part of the thing about this country is, it's like once you've done this one thing, there's no going back ever. Like, and most people feel like you can't atone for that, and I think that's part of the issue with so many of these is, someone like Harvey Weinstein, you can never atone for all of that. There's no way. I mean, that is a fucking lifetime of just doing horrible shit. And it's well, I mean, I know he has not been brought up on charges for any of this or anything, but there are enough people that it's like, this has to be
the Cosby thing. Like, there's no way this is not factual. Like, it's just
there are too many people with the same story. They didn't just have a
global
book club and yeah. But like the Weinstein thing is the hardest to reconcile for several reasons. One is that you look at it and you go, how different would Hollywood look if people who didn't succumb to his awful crimes got their fair shake? Mm-hmm. Like how many people has he made sure got blacklisted in Hollywood who didn't get to write, direct, star, co-star, anything like that?
Who had their careers robbed from them.
How different would things look now if that hadn't happened? But you also have to look at movies, by and large, are not one-man tributes or one-person tributes. It's not like a Civil War statue.
Yeah.
Whereas, this is my dilemma. Harvey Weinstein produced my favorite movie of all time, Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. I can't just never watch Pulp Fiction again. But watching Pulp Fiction is not necessarily I'm supporting Harvey Weinstein thing. Like, he funded it, but he didn't like fund it out of his pocket. Like, it came from other places, and he funneled it into this movie, and this movie got made, and it's a fucking tremendous movie, and I've seen it. I can't forget it. So, as long as I'm not necessarily buying another copy of it or something like that, I'm not financially supporting it. That's the dilemma there. I mean, like, when that started, I was like, just this is going to blow up. Just give me a list of the people when this is all said and done that I can watch. But as this keeps going, it's like, man, this is like 2 more actors, and it will funnel into every movie that's been made in the last 20 years. It's just going to be everything.
Yeah. Here's hoping Kevin Bacon's a good guy.
Yeah, because he's fucking
because
he's connected to fucking everybody. So please, Kevin Bacon, please be a good dude.
And that's the worst part is just now I'm almost operating under the assumption that like everyone's shitty.
Yeah,
I know. Well, that's
please,
the other
I'm
thing.
like, please, The Rock, please be as good as you portray yourself to be all the time, and it's...
Yeah, I mean, I'm just... It's because of, like, several recent comments of things that I've said, I'm just like, I'm not praising anyone ever again. Yeah. Like, it's... Like, you can go back... You can go back... literally, like, 1 week, I think we were talking about Baby Driver, right? And
it wasn't... It was two
episodes ago? Okay,
yeah.
fine. We were just... I mean, and then extra, like, a few weeks ago, was like, hey, nobody likes Jeremy Piven, and man, like, I always think he's great in movies.
Yeah, we spent 10 minutes talking about how
we've
great
given
Jeremy
you a
Piven
fucking...
was.
We have got fucking soundboards for, like, literally everything at this point,
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, I think if we were talking about Baby Driver right now, we would still be saying all the same things. We just wouldn't be talking about Kevin Spacey. I think we would just say, yeah, it's unfortunate he's in it. Here's all the great things about Baby Driver.
Yeah, I know. It's not like it's... that's what I'm saying. Like, is it because of their position in the movie? Is it like, oh, if a director's an asshole, that's too much? Or, like...
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a weird fucking thing because it takes hundreds of people to make a movie.
I think it's kind of like you kind of have to look at, like, was something directly related to a movie that was, like Last Tango in Paris. That actress came out much later and basically said, like, I was practically raped on that movie because of this, and this. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, no one should probably ever watch that movie again.
Yeah.
That's kind of a specific, horrific incident that happened in relation to this motion picture.
Yeah.
But how do you separate that out from...
Yeah, but I mean,
Kevin Spacey or
like,
Harvey
I mean, is that
Weinstein
like every Bertolucci movie is like now off the table? Like, like that's what I mean.
Well,
like,
I think everyone has to draw their own line.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's and I think the main thing is if someone can find enjoyment from it, they should know if that this happened on Last Tango in Paris. But if they still want to watch the movie and still can find the good in it, then it's not your place to take that away from them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that happening right now.
Yeah.
And it's, and people like Kevin Spacey have taken that little bit of Baby Driver away from me. And that sucks,
Yeah.
But I don't want to take that away from someone else. So that's kind of where I'm falling on it is if I can still find enjoyment in a thing, then I'm going to find it. And, I just hope and pray that George Clooney and Steven Soderbergh never do anything horrible or have not in the past, because then that's really gonna hurt me bad as far as some of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, I still would list L.A. Confidential and Baby Driver in my top 20, if not higher. I mean, they're both like really strong movies to me, and to me, it's like. You're coming after the things nearest and dearest to my heart at this point, and like and it's just a continuing string. Like, I mean, I cannot understate enough how much of my childhood was spent with various things Bill Cosby, and I mean I know that's several years past now, but I've had to reconcile with like catching myself of like about to make that obscure reference off of like fucking album number 6, like not even like himself, like something big. It's just like, oh, here I listened to like all the fucking tapes when I was growing up, and I'm just like, oh shit, that's Cosby. Don't say that.
I think you and I talked about this before because we said I wish someone would come along and cover all his comedy albums so that we could just refer to that new version.
Yeah, I say Hannibal Buress. He gets to record them all.
Yep, that's still amazing that that's how the Cosby thing happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
Where I mean, it was kind of like a known secret around, and he's the person who came out and said it, and then everyone was like, "Well, all right," and.
Whatever, man. I go with Riddick rules, man. You keep what you kill.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, all of this is horrible, but I'm glad it's reaching a point where the people who have been victimized can say something about it.
Absolutely.
I'll take that any day of the week over being able to watch Baby Driver and go, yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of this.
Yeah.
rather
Yes.
these people,
Pieces of shit should be called out,
yeah,
and justice should be served. That's what should happen in all of these cases. In any of these cases, anything that can be proven by any means necessary. By all, let's stop. There needs to stop being these kinds of like, oh well, Hollywood has a dark secret. Fuck, why?
yeah,
Because this person makes money for this other person. Who cares? Just fuck. There are plenty of people out there who aren't pieces of shit. And then, I hate to say it, but like, you get to a point, and this is going to sound like a weird tangent, but you get to like a Joss Whedon point where it's like, he cheated on his wife. You know what? And I'm like, who gives a fuck? That's between him and his wife. Like, everyone who was just like, he's not a feminist, he cheated on his wife, fuck that guy. It's just like, that's between like two people and is not illegal, and who cares? We have to really focus, because for the longest time, Hollywood scandals that made it into the public were always like, this person's fucking this lady and blah. You know, it's like, who fucking cares who cares what people do consensually? Who cares?
I think the Joss Whedon thing comes more as a betrayal to people because they realize that at least a little bit he's full of shit.
Sure.
You know, and that part is what I think bothered so many people about that specific. I mean, I know that you're just making an example there.
Yeah, I mean,
but
and
that's kind of where it's coming from. Is, you know, everyone in Hollywood has a front image they want to portray to people.
Yes,
and people think that that's the person. That's who they are. It has to be, right? And that is very rarely the case.
Because I mean, I remember during the whole Tiger Woods thing, like during his downfall, I was like, why is this anyone's business? Why is everyone giving him shit? Who cares? It's between him and his family. They'll work it out or not, and then... But the public was just like, so much for you, Tiger Woods. Fuck off. And Tiger Woods was just, you know, fucking Swedish models all the time, and everyone was just like, boo.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck, man? I mean, like... there's being a piece of shit, and there's being a colossal piece of shit. Everyone kind of deep down is some form of piece of shit.
Well, I think as you stated, it kind of should fall down to, all right, there's moral decency, and then there's just fucking law.
Yes, absolutely. But we've been so focused on the moral bullshit for so long, calling out these weird slights, you know, it's like, oh, can't trust that person, you know, because they cheated on his wife. Or, you know, like there's this weird thing in politics now where it's like, suddenly some candidate will like start to bubble up in popularity, and someone will go, you took $500 from a pharmaceutical company, you're bought, you're paid for, fuck you, I'm not listening to anything you say. It's like, whoa, what? Hold on. There's nothing wrong with that. All these other people are doing super shady illegal shit, and you don't care. But this person took a check for $500 to talk to somebody, and you're losing your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
The focus on this weird, dumb outrage for so long has been nonsense, and now all this real shit is coming to light, and this is what we should have been focused on the whole time. The whole time.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you know, people are just, they're ready to pounce. And that's where I can understand where the people like that in iTunes reviews of us will call us social justice warriors and all that bullshit. And basically I can see where they're coming from in the fact that in so many, the way it's portrayed on social media, you have to be 100% this, or you're 0% this.
Yes.
And you are never 95% this, or 85% this, or 60% this, or 40% this. You have to be 100%, or you have to be 0.
Yep.
And you have to be perfect all the time, or you are perfect none of the time.
Yes.
And, you know, it's... I don't even know where we ended up.
How
we ended up on this part of it. But
going, but
no, but I mean, I can understand where people that just get pissed off about this stuff is because there are so many people that really are just waiting to be a hater about stuff and to drag people and tear them down immediately because I guess their lives are so shitty that they feel like they need that. And there's people who they feel like that's the only power they have.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of people where that's the only way you can ever get to Tiger Woods. You know, that's the only way I can be better than Tiger Woods is to go, he's a piece of shit that cheated on his wife a bunch of times. Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, I just, you look back at the Bill Cosby stuff, and like if you just search in, try to get some information about this situation with Bill Cosby, you will get tons of fucking articles and things about saying like he was set up by NBC because he tried to buy the network, and that's when all this stuff came to light. And I'm like, what kind of fucking idiotic bullshit is this? People don't just... group think out of the woodwork and come out and all have the same story that he pretty much admits to in several, civil cases along the way. The whole thing about buying roofies and him just saying, well, it was the 70s. That's what you gave to women.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Harvey Weinstein. It was, I grew up in a time where, things were different. And it's like,
yeah.
I know plenty of dudes who are in their 60s who never did any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like
you could have been the dude during that time to say, no, I'm not going to rape women.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I've seen Mad Men. I know things were different in offices around that time. But
yes,
there
Mad Men, that documentary about the 60s.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Not everyone partook.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I hope this leads to a better Hollywood, because who knows how many careers that we could have seen that just didn't happen because the actress or whoever didn't want to play ball with somebody like Harvey fucking Weinstein.
Look, number one tragedy on the list is the actual crimes that were committed.
Yeah.
Somewhere further down on that list is how many careers never happened because of this shit.
Yeah.
And
it makes you
stories
wonder,
that weren't told.
Yeah,
films
like actresses
that weren't made.
that just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Like you wonder, you're like, man, they were really awesome in this, and this, and then they just disappeared.
Well, I remember.
I bet there's a reason for that.
You and I were talking about Mira Sorvino. I don't know if that was on an extra or if that was on this show, and we were just like, man, what happened to her? You kind of now know what happened to her.
Yeah.
Her career path went in a different direction, and I think it's because of the things that have happened, because her name's been associated with this stuff.
I'm not condoning this or saying this should be a thing, but I also think perhaps she just aged out, as they say in Hollywood. I mean, they literally if you're 35 now, get the fuck out. Unless you're willing to play the older sister, mother, or you still look pretty at 50, whatever bullshit. I'm stating what it is, not that I agree with it.
Well, and I mean, they're still casting 21-year-olds to be Tom Cruise's love interest, and he's 50.
Yes.
I mean, they're still doing that shit. So.
And look, Tom Cruise is a piece of shit. We just don't know all the ways because he's a part of this weird super secret religion, but he's a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. And I love Tom Cruise movies because they're really good. So, I mean, on one hand, I recognize that. I go, man, he's probably doing some really creepy shit. That whole Scientology shit is really damaging to a lot of people. On the other hand, have you seen that video of him at the Scientology thing, jumping up and down, wearing a giant fucking medallion and praising the sun god or all the weird shit that it's fucking amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I could watch Baby Driver tomorrow and go, that part's unfortunate. That part's unfortunate. Man, this is a great fucking movie. Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
I think the gray area we get into is if they do go back and make another season of House of Cards starring Kevin Spacey, and then you're like, do I watch this? Because this is literally happening during when all this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Would I watch that? I think stuff that's already been made, I think you can reconcile. Either you're down with it or you're not. Mm-hmm. But it's the new stuff. It's it's like you were talking about Victor Salva. I was like, I don't want to see anything that dude makes. That's my personal choice. I don't want to give him any money, and I never have.
I feel like he served his time. He should be allowed to make movies if he wants, but I will not be watching any of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know what the level of crime is. I mean, Mel Gibson might be a piece of shit, but did he ever commit a crime? He just said really shitty things.
Drunk driving was his crime.
Well, I'm saying,
but it was the racist rant that happened during the drunk driving.
Right. I'm saying, people were fucking calling for his head along with all of this stuff, too, and I'm like...
I think he also threatened to kill his daughter and a bunch of shit on a voicemail. But so did Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin's a piece of shit, and now everyone loves him playing the piece of shit on Saturday Night Live, so,
Yeah, it's...
Which now makes Glengarry Glen Ross really difficult to watch.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just please, nothing ever bad about Alan Arkin come out. Please, please.
Please tell me.
So.
Yeah, I mean, what I was getting at is, did he actually commit crimes, or is he just has shitty views? Yes. Because... there's a difference.
There is.
People are alongside that. I'm like, but
but people should also be people should also be free to decide what they want to support and what they don't.
Yeah.
And
I'm not trying to defend Mel Gibson. I was just like, he didn't actually do anything illegal, did he?
But again, I don't necessarily want to. I'm not defending Mel Gibson. I will never defend Mel Gibson. But that goes along the lines of actual crimes were committed, and people have never felt powerful enough to come out and say that these crimes occurred. His crime was just he got real drunk and his racist shit flowed out of him, and everyone was just like, "Fuck you, Mel Gibson, get the fuck out."
Right.
We're focused on the wrong things for far too long. But like the Mel Gibson thing is really weird because if you remember, like during The Hangover, Mel Gibson was supposed to be in a cameo, and the cast like revolted and said, "No, that racist piece of shit will not be in this movie." But they were totally okay with rapist Mike Tyson being on in their movie.
Again,
and getting a goddamn cartoon on Adult Swim, you know.
Well, time served though. I mean, that's
again, yes, time served, and but it's just the weird focus that people have on one thing over another.
I know. Yeah, it's weird.
And you can go either. You can say both things are wrong. You can say one is worse than the other. You can justify it however you want. My point is just that for the longest time, we have been focused on really petty, gossipy bullshit, where the actual crimes have been unreported, and now the crimes are coming out, and shit should happen because of it.
Yeah,
and we're left with, well, how do we watch things now?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah,
I don't know if we answered or came to any sort of consensus or
we probably just offended everybody.
Probably we just became like, well,
we'll get a bunch of
good thing they're
emails
ending.
and
Good thing they're
voicemails.
ending next episode because these fucking social justice.
We're getting out before our dark secrets come out.
Crash and Bernie would have won. Am I right? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's my thing is we're still trying to work through how to enjoy stuff that's been tainted by this, and it just feels like it's going to be more and more. This is definitely not over, and you don't want to get to the point where you can't watch anything. You don't want to be the guy that's like, I'm not drinking Starbucks ever, and I'm not going to Target because they support the French, and just these people that there are people that are like they can't enjoy anything in Hollywood because they're full of liberals.
Does Target support the French because everyone says Target? Just curious.
Hey man, I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, I would also not shop at Jacques Pinet.
Yeah, yeah, but you can't live your life wanting to wanting to have everything be a stand, and I feel like things keep leading that way for so many people.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if Kevin Spacey gets to make anything in the future, I'm probably not going to watch it.
Yeah,
or it's going to take a lot of people like Edgar Wright making them, and people that I really enjoy to make me go, is this enough to get over? Much like you with Mel Gibson, is this enough to get over it and maybe watch this?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know when we got to politicizing everything, but now we can't.
But also doing that doesn't make you a bad person.
No,
getting over it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically, being able to be like, all right, maybe enough times pass, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can watch this person's stuff again. That it doesn't make you a bad person for not sticking with your stand for the rest of your life.
Well, let me just ask this question just to see how we all stand. I know during 1990 year, it was briefly discussed doing Ghost Dad, but then we were like, there's no fucking way we can watch a Bill Cosby movie.
Yeah.
Is there still no fucking way we can watch a Bill Cosby movie?
I personally don't. I don't think that I can. I mean,
I don't think we can do an episode on it because I don't think we can make it fun.
Yeah.
Without
it would be too insanely uncomfortable.
Yeah, without resorting to stuff that would be like, this is a bad joke to make.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
No,
like,
I agree.
I'm not.
I don't
because there's I mean,
there's
a lot of jokes that happen in your head, and you go, "That's a horrible joke." I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
well, and I mean, that episode would all be us going, never mind, nope.
He hasn't come under any kind of actual, like, there's no punishment has really begun per se.
No, he had that one trial that was a mistrial.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, like, there's no punishment, like, there's no atonement, there's no anything like that.
Yeah, there's no time served, and now he's apologized.
And I mean, and like, I mean, that to me, that like, I'm not trying to understate like that was such a big part of my childhood. I mean, that was like, I don't know. That's just like that's like finding out like there was actually a Santa Claus, and you know what? He got his powers by murdering puppies. It's like, well, fuck, you've just destroyed my world. Like
Yeah.
I would not have even suspected that. Like that's
Yeah.
seriously, it's fucking.
I'm the same way. I, as a kid, would
heartbreaking.
fall asleep every night to Bill Cosby albums. Like that was my go to sleep at night thing, was listen to, because my parents had every album and I listened to all of them a million times.
Yeah.
And like you, I have been dangerously close to making a reference and going, no, never mind,
Yeah,
sorry.
fuck, that's off this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, by the time we die, everyone will have done something horrible
Probably.
for everything that we enjoy. So,
I stick to my, you really got to focus on what's criminal and what's maybe against your own moral code. Because there's a drastic difference.
yeah. And your line is different from everyone else's.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I would stress that like there is law, and then there's your own moral compass. And don't confuse the two.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you could be a piece of shit and never do anything wrong. So.
Yep. As we said, Andrew Dice Clay might be the nicest person in Hollywood. We never know. We'll still think he's a piece of shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he probably is a piece of shit. That was a poor example. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
if you have wonderful things to say to us about this discussion and you want to let us know, write us at BMF@BMFcast.com or call us on the Garfield phone, the BMFcast hotline, 910-5JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. Otherwise, go to BMFcast.com. Everything's on the right-hand side of the page, including Discord, our YouTube page, Facebook, Twitter, all of it, /BMFcast. We're easy to find.
Totally are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And go to patreon.com/BMFcast. Got bonus podcasts there, early access podcasts, all sorts of fun stuff. If you like us and we haven't offended you too much with our discussion during this episode, throw a buck our way.
Sorry. Yeah, shit got heavy.
Yeah.
All right, so I will throw this out there. Like,
Okay.
remember that
Uh-oh.
the Garfield phone is, try to keep it to like a minute or two at most. So if you have lots to say, please write us. We will read it. We might not reread it onto the show, but if you're like us and you're just like, I have opinions and feelings and I need to discuss them.
Yeah. And if you want,
Throw
if you
'em our
don't
way.
want it on the show, please
Yeah.
just say it doesn't have to be on the show
Yeah.
if it's just for us.
I mean, if you write us like 6 pages, we will get the gist of it and relay it. But if you don't want it shared at all and you just need a catharsis, sort of like what we did, we'll read it. Absolutely.
yeah.
Totally.
So anyway, are we ready to wrap it up?
I think we are.
All right.
All right. I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck. And this is BMFcast out.
out.
BMFcast out.
BMFcast is out.
This is
This is the BMFcast.
Just one episode left.
Yeah.
And we're out.
Now we're officially out.
out.
Never again.
Maybe you can make BMFcast again.
Press the big reset button.
Yeah.
We should take like a week off.
We
And
should-
then
we
people,
should-
people like really would think, wait, was that it?
We should just fucking like Ultimate Universe or New 52 this shit. We'll just be like, let's start over at episode 1. We'll just watch all the same movies all over again, all with the, new takes on them. Yeah. See, you should have started Rewind. We
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
Now you'd have to do rewind.
Yeah.
Oh, meta.
We just have to start in the same place, like the Ultimate Universe. We can diverge after we've started in the
Oh,
same
okay.
area.
So we start
yeah.
with the Wicker Man.
Yeah, and then we can
Man.
just do whatever.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
be like, well, what would we have done for episode 2?
Like, God, Nick Cage, please. I know you're a weirdo, but don't be a illegal weirdo. Please, I can't handle that.
I can't wait until your next BMFcast Rewind.
Yeah.
Are you due? for that?
Here's the thing. I wasn't going to do an episode on Robot Jocks because I talked about Robot Jocks extensively on this here podcast, but because of our shitty indexing system where we don't mention all the movies in the second half, I have no fucking idea what second half I talked about Robot Jocks.
I've tried to do that in recent.
Yeah.
I've tried to list any movies, but sometimes you get a billion movies.
yeah,
and-
sometimes it's like it's mixed in with a marathon that I did. And
Yeah.
it just becomes Chuck's movie marathon. So
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
yeah. So I have to watch Robot Jocks again, but
Oh,
I get to watch
shame.
Robot Jocks
Yeah,
again.
I was about to
so,
say.
yeah.
Boo fucking who?
Yeah. Then I have to watch The Spirit.
Yeah, you do.
Oh God,
There's Nazis and shit in that.
was that episode
That'll be
7?
fun.
No,
Stealth is after
Stealth and Hudson Hawk.
Spirit's before Hudson Hawk.
Really? Okay.
I've
Well-
already been planning this out.
Are you sure? Because like it's like it came out of order. Are you doing it by episode order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Hudson Hawk
Oh, because
wasn't.
God,
till,
those were back in the Hudson Hawk.
was like
What did
that
we
outtake.
record? We recorded 2 in one night, right?
Yeah, I think Spirit was like 8 or something.
Spirits After Stealth.
Or it was like
So
number
Robot
9, but it
Jox.
was actually like we skipped 8 or something like that. I don't know.
And Navy SEALs. I think Navy SEALs was number 9.
See, the problem is that like 2 or 3 of those movies I talked about on the show. So
Yeah.
I was just going to do like a Robot Jox, Stealth, Navy SEAls recap.
Yeah.
And just move on to
Torque.
I talked
Torque's
about
coming up.
also,
I think Torque's
so-
like 12 or
No,
13.
Twilight's 12.
number 12.
So I was just going to do an episode on the Spirit because I walked out of the Spirit halfway through it.
You made the right
Finished-
choice.
Yeah, well, so. But
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll do an episode. I don't.
You might enjoy our Spirit-related euphemisms for butt stuff when you listen to our episode. I do remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, okay.
Spirit related butt stuff.
Just saying. We had some euphemisms. I recall that. Anyway, shutting this thing down.
All right. Good night, everyone. Sorry we got so serious.
Yeah. Why so serious? XM.